That's better. Hi everyone. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello. Okay. People in.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Perfect. All right. Let's get things rolling. Let people in. I feel like I need to turn on another light. Let me turn on another light. Give me a second here.
Add the width and the heights. Notice how.
That's better. Okay. It's getting pretty dark in here. I have a fan that I just tipped over. That was a disaster. Okay. What I thought would be a simple turning on a light turned into a bit more of a longer. There we go. Okay. So hey everyone, I see you're putting in your greeting in the chat. So go ahead and make sure you do that. And we will get through a lot of stuff today. Let me let Tim's other computer on. There you go. All right. So while people are trundling in, I thought I'd show you something. This here, I don't know if you can see my picture, is a little color calibration device. And if you're gonna take it seriously to do any kind of website work, or even photography work or imaging work, film, video, whatever it is that you can do, then remember what I said about there's only so much you can do. Given to control what things are going to look like on the other side, on the other screen, because you don't know if they're going to be looking at your website with a calibrated screen, an old screen, a new screen, a good quality screen, an iPhone, an iPad. But what you can do is control your side of things and make sure that what you send out is as good as it can be. So anyway, I just, as people are signing in, I wanted to show you, because what I've been doing today, I am about to upgrade my OS, and I have, this is a color calibration device, and what it does is it reads the environmental light to see what light's there, and then you kind of turn it around like this, and then this lens you stick to the computer. It hangs kind of from the edge with this little counterweight, and you stick it to the computer, and then you just press play on software, and the software reads all the colors and all the devices, and it gives you as accurate as possible a calibration for your screen. You know, when you're getting accustomed to looking at something and then somebody comes and goes, wow, your screen's so dark or so light or whatever it is, because you have been accustomed to it. But in reality, the colors might be off, everything might be off. So the only way to have a complete assurance that you can, that what you are doing is as good as it can be, and then for the rest of the world, it's up to what they see, is by you calibrating your screen with one of these devices.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, these things are pretty expensive, and this is the problem that I'm having, is that I need to update my Mac OS, but Mac OS for Catalina has rendered this little item here that I've had for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now, unusable.
No.
The OS for Catalina, I know Catalina is a 64-bit program, and this device only is a 34-bit program. Anyway, I've been resisting, but it's finally time to upgrade. but I'm going to lose it. And to this one was like $200 or so, but to buy another one now is about 300, 350.
Oh, wow.
Depending on the version I want, 280. So yeah, I remember when I bought this one, I found a really good deal. It was under $200, but now I can't find a good deal. So I haven't been wanting to spend money on it. So anyway, I was just going another round of calibration before I upgrade, and then I'll have to live without calibration for a while until I can, you know, come up with another calibration device. But yeah, so have you ever gone, you know, you go to a TV store or a Chinese store that has a lot of screens and how they're all different. So hopefully if you buy a good quality monitor, it maintains colors better. But even then, at some point, they start degrading. So even a really good monitor, you have to calibrate. Some people are fanatics and they calibrate every week, but at least maybe once a month, you can run the calibrator. And then if you don't have one, you survive until you can borrow, beg, and steal. No, what's it called? Beg, borrow, and steal. Until you can get someone else. And at some point, some friends of ours have decided that we're going to probably share one and kind of move it around different homes, different offices. Anyway, so you do what you can. But yeah, so I know that some of you guys are taking this seriously and are doing this work for real. And then the green that you make is not the green that others make. And you go, it's really gorgeous. And the client goes, no, it's not. That gorgeous is horrible. And you're like, come on, it's the best. And you can't, there's no grounds to stand on what you see as green and what they see as green. In particular, the colors that get really skewed are reds and blues, where blues tend to look very purple. You know, there's all these differences. And so you want to be able to say, listen, I am a professional. My screen is calibrated. This is what I'm showing you, and this is what other people will see and stuff like that. But anyway, okay. So how's it going? Does everyone have everything opened up and ready to jump in? I just noticed that as I was speaking, I have not yet signed in to VMview. For some reason, I had it up earlier today for my other class, and then I seem to have, since I didn't use it, it says my session has expired. I guess it didn't like being off so long. So now I'm re-signing in. Anything you want to share or tell me that you've been doing or experiencing, or questions? Are you all alive back there?
Hi.
Ooh, Ali. Okay, turn the sound off on your second device, please. Oh, now you turn both off, but to speak to us, you're gonna have to go down to where you see your microphone. You can click on that little arrow there, and then you can say leave computer audio on one of your two devices.
Hi, is that better?
Yeah, there you go, much better. Phew. Okay, yeah.
So I caught up and everything, but I did have a couple of little, what I hope is going to be really quick things that I noticed right at the end of last week's lesson that's wrong on my screen. But I have all the links and everything. But I noticed there's a third thing going on. So I'm wondering if I can share with you.
Yeah, go ahead. You broke off a bit, so I'm not sure what the question was, but I did hear you want to share, so go ahead and share.
That work?
Yeah, it's coming up. It's not there yet. There we go. Okay.
So my first issue was that I have that header thing up there, and I know where it is. It's down right here. I don't know if my code is just in the wrong place.
Yeah, well, you have, it's the closer and you have the opener. Something must be missing. I need to see it bigger. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. The detail sometimes is in the header. You open the nav, you close the nav, you close the header, and it's inside the body. So why are you seeing the word header up there. Do you have another header somewhere? Go click on that word header that you have up on the top to see if it's the same one that we're seeing. No, up in the live view where you're seeing that. Yeah, click. It is that one. It seems fine. You have the opener header, then you have your nav, all your links, then you have your closing nav. Oh, you don't have a closing nav. See how the nav is an opener both times?
Okay, cool. So that's.
Let's see if that's it. I don't know. That for sure was wrong. Closing nav, and then you close your header. You have something wrong. See, point 19 is red. So let's see what's wrong with point 19. Contact. Oh, you don't have quotes in front of the word contact. So in front of the C for contact, you're missing the little quotes. There you go. Okay, so things are getting better. They're nothing red now, but the header is still showing up there. Can you scroll up a little bit higher to see if everything is fine up above that? Like go up. You've got your head up, opener and closer. That's fine. Your body. Can you twirl your little the little arrow where it's which has head under body? No, now down. Oh. Okay. Twirl the one that says header down, one under that says header under body. Twirl that one open and closed. See, it's fine. It opens and it closes. It feels as if it's not reading it as a closer. Why don't you go ahead and redo that tag just in case something's wrong with it. So I can't distinguish anything wrong, but go ahead and go to body, to the end of body. Go to the end of body. Click in there. No, sorry, to the end of the opener tag of body. I apologize, I wasn't clear. Go up to the, click in there. Outside of the arc, outside of the angle, Now hit return. And now insert a header. So go over to your file, go over to your, I guess you can write it as well, but if you want to try and write it. Okay, open and write header. Okay, there we go. So now hit enter or return 2 times. Okay, and now grab that nav, copy and paste it inside of that one, and then we can go to the old one, and let's see if that works. So click from the opening nav to the closing nav. Oops, no. Undo that, undo that. Okay, say Command Z or Control Z to undo that. Okay. Again, Command Z one more time so that it appears where it used to be. One more undo. Undo edit source. So at the very, very top, undo edit source. Control Z. Okay. So now I want you to collect the whole nav. So from opening nav to closing nav bar. So click in there and drag down all the way to the ending of that nav. There we go. Now say cut, edit X, and then put your mouse on line 15 and paste. Okay, and now go get rid of 23, line 23 and 24, that header, delete that. Oh, look at that, we discover. Line 23 is the ending tab, so go to the line 24 through 26, click and drag, and delete that one. Just right click and cut that out. Yeah, just get rid of that whole line. Yeah, get rid of that. Just cut it out.
Let's delete.
Just say cut. I guess it's as good as delete in this case. And just stay in here.
It's not going.
You would just hit the delete key.
I'm doing that. Oh, there we go. Got it.
Just hit the delete key. Okay, perfect. Now let's look upstairs and see what happened.
Well, that got rid of the header.
It did. What's that gray thing you have on the left? It's like it's a missing image.
It's related to the image, to the flower, because in my live view, the picture of the flowers is there. And this is the one that, so I saved it, went out and everything. The flowers were there, and it's just reappeared now. I've reopened it.
Are you on VDI? No.
Yeah,
So you're not on VDI, so it should be showing up.
yes, I am. I am.
Huh.
It's not my copy.
Oh, you are on VDI.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's why. So you need to close everything and re-sign in to the Google Drive file stream for all of this to not be a problem.
Everything start up again.
So close everything that we've got going and quit. Yeah. And then sign into your Google Drive file stream. If you had not signed out and you just open up again, then the files show up like that, all broken up. So you have to sign out, go to preferences, disconnect account first. Yep. And then go and sign in again. And then your images will show up correctly.
Okay. And then my second question, I'm sorry to take up your time, but I managed to do the links manually, but when I was hovering over it, it didn't get that little link thing that you were demonstrating last week. So
say that again. Your sound is broken up, so I get half of your question. Can you tell me again?
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not letting Vivian in. Sorry. Okay. Just ask me again.
Maybe this will help. Last week you were demonstrating hovering over the word at the top, and a little box would appear, and you could put your link in there. I managed to do my links, but I had to do them manually because the boxes weren't appearing for me. I don't know if that's just some quick reset. Okay,
let's go see. I think that you were showing me things in live view instead of in, let's see, go ahead and get it in there, and then we'll open up again and see what you're seeing. Hopefully by now, by the way, everyone has got Dreamweaver opened up and their files opened up. And if you are not, if you are in VDI, I'm sorry, hopefully you've done, like Ali has done, which is sign out and sign in of your Google Drive file stream. And then, okay, so now the images are okay. There we go. And the head is gone. So basically I still don't know what was wrong with that header tag. Like it looked okay, but maybe there is something that we're not noticing. So just by deleting it and remaking a clean one and putting the stuff in there, we kind of solved the problem, see? But it looked fine, but I can't tell. It's so tiny. Maybe there was some extra little something in there, maybe an extra space or something, but that solved your issue, okay? Can you go to the...
I put in the index and the about, and it was in the same place, but now my file seems to split in two somehow.
You put your index in the same place as what?
Yes, at the top left, there's only the about. And
yeah, can you close that? I wanted to show you, I was going to stop you for how you opened the file before, and so I want you to close this file, go to the about and close that from the little X up there. Just go to the about HTML and make there's a little X right next to the word about HTML, right above where it says source code for your whole file. Or just go to file close. Yeah. Okay. So instead of opening from here, which is what you're opening from, okay, my request is that you go open from the panel. Let's see if you've got the whole site correctly set up. So go to the files. Yeah, go there. Click on the files panel. So to the right, you see the word files on the, yeah, keep going. Oh, you must have, you know what? You probably are not seeing it. You're probably got your Zoom windows right underneath it and you're not seeing it, but there you go. So are you in the right file? Is that the file you're trying to open things from?
Yes. The other one, sorry.
But are you working in mine?
Yeah. You gave me a copy the other week when my program was glitchy.
Yeah, because I don't want you to be working directly on mine because you can't save. The idea is that you can copy the files and put them in yours and then open from yours. So can you go to your Google Docs file and go down at the very bottom of where you have that black now to the left, to the very left, no, way to the other side of the screen. Okay, so here you see Adobe Dreamweaver, Deanna's first web page, and then you see Google Drive file site. click on Google Drive.
Yeah.
Click on the Google Drive. The third, yeah, click on that one. Okay, so now, double click on shared drives.
But it's in my drive because you gave it to me the other week.
Yeah, but, oh, you
Right.
already have it. You just didn't change the name. You have it in my drive. Okay. So then, okay, so then go to my drive. If you do have it in there, then go to my drive and Dreamweaver class files. Okay, you left it with my name, and I guess that was confusing me. That's why I said you're using mine, which is no, that's fine. I that's why I asked you, is it mine, right? Because I saw my name there, and as long as it's the one that's in your drive, we're fine. Sorry, that was
it was the one that you gave me a couple of weeks ago, but I guess the audio
And-
isn't that great.
Got it, and you kept working with that. Okay, so you're fine. So then you can go over to files on the right side of the Dreamweaver panel and open from there. So instead of, so go to the far right side of the panel where you were before, where I saw the name Diana and I stopped you. So in Dreamweaver, so forget this window, go to Dreamweaver. Yeah, click there. And then go to the far right. Instead of opening from here, we open only the HTML. I want you to click on the files. Now on the far right. I think you have the Zoom windows there and the way, and that's why you don't see the same thing. Okay, and then to open the index file from here. So go to the index file that I see right there, the third thing down. Go down 2 or 3, right there, and double click. Oh, no. Yeah, double click. Maybe double click on the little icon then or something. Yeah.
That's it.
And there you go. Okay.
But
So you want to open things from in here.
It's only got the index file on the left here. And I did all the, the about one that we did last week.
I am having such a hard time understanding what you're asking. Is anyone else understanding? Is it just me? I cannot understand what she's saying. Is it just me?
Here. I should have 2 pages, like 2.
Yeah, she's breaking.
You keep breaking up, and I'm not sure what you're saying. Something about something on the left, 2 pages.
Yeah.
I don't. So sorry, I don't understand your question. This is the index one. This is one I want you to have open right now. Are you asking about the about page?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Don't open it right now. The about page was created just for us to be able to create the links, right?
Yeah.
But we're not gonna work with that right now. We're gonna keep working on getting this one, and then we're going to relink everything when we have the nav completed.
Okay. All right then. Okay. I'll catch up.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, are you okay, wait, let me just get back. Are you missing, are your links not set up? Is that what you're saying? No, your links seem to be
No, my links work fine. My links work fine.
Yeah.
I had another problem, but it doesn't matter right now. I don't.
It's, my problem isn't that I don't want you to keep asking. It's just that your voice comes in all crackly and I don't really completely understand your question. So sorry.
The only audio. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's try. Sometimes the connection gets a little bit better. So try again, maybe ask me and let's check again in 10 minutes. And when you speak to me, see if the sounds a bit better. Or if I'm going to stop your sharing right now. And sometimes when you're not sharing, the connection isn't so intense. And now if you speak to me, I might hear you better because I stopped your sharing. Can you see if you speak now, it's better?
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I just
a little better.
I lost my about page that was up there for some reason. I saved it and closed down, but it's gone.
Oh, you lost your about page.
I lost it.
If you lost your about page, I saw it there in your files though. You had it right under index, right in the index in that little panel. You had the about page.
It's in the index. Yeah, I just don't see the heading at the top. You know, when you navigate, switch between the two.
Yeah, but if you go to that little files panel where I had you double click to open the index, right there is your about page. You can double click and you'll open your about page. And then it'll show up to the left.
There it is. Yeah, I got it. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. By the way, I'm so sorry. I do like people to ask questions, and I don't want to make you feel like since it's confusing that you shouldn't be asking. It's just that sometimes Zoom, to the best of our abilities, whatever has, but as much as we're trying to do it well, sometimes it is getting in the way. So I'm going to share my screen for a second and show you what I mean about opening the about from the inside. How's everyone else doing as far as having their files? If you're starting with your own version of like at home and you missed anything from last week, then please remember to start from wherever I'm at so that we can move forward. So here's what I was trying to get to with am I sharing the right thing? Yeah. So what I was trying to explain is that I have index and about open right here. I have both open. I'm going to close about. And then if I want to open it again, I'll just go over here to this area and I'll just double click on about. There it is. I saw that you had your about, and then it'll open up and now you'll have both index and about again. Okay. But that said, I don't need about right now. I want to just keep working with index. This is not going to be a complete nav, and we're going to keep working on it. And then when we're done with it, we'll copy the whole thing back into our about. Okay. So right now, if anyone has your about file open, either you can close it from here, or like Ali did, you can go to file close. Okay. And leave just your index open, and you would have it open if you had left it open from last week. If you're on BDI and your images aren't showing like they weren't for hers, then you need to make sure to sign in and sign out of the Google Drive file stream for them to show correctly. Okay, before I start with new stuff, any other questions about this or anything you did this week that you want to check in with or ask about? No? Seems like I'm sharing. Oh, that's the screen I'm sharing. I'm going to stop that share. All right. Well, welcome everyone. For those of you who came in a little bit later at the beginning of class, I was demonstrating a color calibration monitor. Check the video recording, the beginning of class, if you want to know more about it. Some of you might be interested, but I don't want to go over that information again, but go to check the video. And it's to make sure that your screens all look good. And in particular today, I have a spread of 4 screens in front of me where it's just really 2 computers, but each one has a second monitor, right? So basically I have 4 screens on 2 computers. And I was trying to create some work that I'm going to do in my Photoshop class tomorrow, and I was noticing that the colors were really off. So I went ahead and calibrated everything, and so now all 4 screens have, you know, the similar tones and yellows, and at some point you need to just kind of revamp everything. They do fall out of calibration. So I thought I'd show that to you guys. We need to start putting in some quite a bit more information into this page. And before we do that, I wanted to show you a little bit of a little PowerPoint that's going to talk a bit about units, sizing, so to say. Because up until now we haven't talked about it. All you know is, you know, good old inches and stuff like that. So I'm going to explain a little bit about CSS units, and I also want to talk to you about class. Okay, so when at the end of class, I think Daryl asked me about classes, and I explained that, or he didn't really ask me about classes, and he asked me, I don't know if you have a class or not, but the answer was the word class. Which was, say that you have many different pages with H2s, and you have one style sheet that says the H2s have to be green. Well, what if you want one of those H2 not to be green? And if they're all informed by the same style sheet where you made all your H2s green, then how do you make that one H2 not be green? Okay, so then what you need to do is you need to add a class to that and make that class be a class of blue. So then that H2 is an H2 that's modified by a class of blue. So that one H2 shows up as blue. So this might be kind of theoretical. We're going to actually do it so that you can see. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean. So I have a I need to share this screen with you guys, and I'm not gonna make it a big size screen. I'm gonna show it to you just like this, which is kind of gonna work. I'm pretty sure this is gonna work. Oh wow, Hannah coming into class. Okay. All right. So and then normally you might make your paragraph. And all you do is you open your paragraph, you write whatever you write, and then you make it, close your paragraph. And that paragraph will take on the same stylings that you've used for paragraph all along, right? But then comes a special paragraph, one that's going to be the word warning, and you want it to go red, right? Because, you know, the word is warning. You want it to look like it's a warning. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to add a class attribute to that. So instead of just having the opening and closing around the P, you're going to actually add class. Now I'm showing you the code. I'm going to show you in the computer how to do it without having to write code. But the whole point is that this one paragraph, instead of being like any other paragraph, this will be like any other paragraph. But this one paragraph that you add a class to, you name it anything you want, right? So say that you name your class the word alert, because that way, you know that anytime you make something orange or red or whatever, it'll be an alert. So you've added that class to it. Then in CSS, you have to create a class. You have to create a selector. But instead of it being like the selector for the P, for the paragraph, you know how we write the selector for the paragraph, and then we open and we close and we say we want the paragraph to be a certain way or another, right? So say maybe we had wanted our paragraph originally, let me just go copy this. Maybe the color for our paragraph was supposed to be black. Okay, so that's how we would have had it before. Let me just move it in. So I'm just kind of adding this. So while our paragraph is still supposed to be black, when we add, okay, this would be the way you would write a selector. In PowerPoint, it keeps wanting to make it uppercase. This says that if you add the alert class, then the color is going to turn into red. So now notice that this is not related to the paragraph. I can write the alert class to anything. If I make an alert class of red, I could then make my H2 with an alert class, and then that H2 will turn out as red. So this is not dependent on what selector. This is just an alert class that I've created, and I could have created anything here. I could have created any kind of styling, just a styling of any kind of another, and call it style 1, style 2, style 3. But when I put a little period in front of it, see that little dot? That period is pretty crucial. That dot or period in front of this labels this as a class. Then I'm able to write that in front of any or inside of any tag, and then that tag will take upon these properties. Okay, again, seeing as code, for those of you who didn't study code, it's kind of complicated. So I'm going to go show you this in Dreamweaver. Okay, so now we're going to continue with this a bit later, because then we're going to talk about CSS units. But I want to go to Dreamweaver to put this into a context, to make this be more real for you. Okay, so let me change the screen that I'm sharing and turn it. Not that one. Let me go and share my Dreamweaver. Okay, so we're back to showing my Dreamweaver. By the way, Hannah, hi. I noticed you are here with us today. Nice to see you. When I have a minute, I'll give you the files to work with. For now, just kind of follow along and open up VMware and all that and get ready to go. And then I'll give you the files so that you can get going with us. All right. So over here in our code, and what we've been doing up until now, we don't have anything that repeats too much. We have only one paragraph, we have one H2, we have one H1, okay? So what I want us to do is I want us to write another H2. So right now we put the by Diana Musacchio as an H2. Let's go ahead and write another little H2, and we're gonna write it in between my first web page and by Diana Musacchio. So right under my first web page, we're gonna write a little subheading here, okay? So we're gonna go over to my first web page, and it's easier to do it in code, I find. If I find it right there in code, to just click right after my first web page. But say that you don't have, it's not easy for you to find that, you can just click over here, my first web page, and as soon as you click on there, then your cursor will appear in the right place. Or go to your DOM. For those of you who don't see your DOM, it's because it's probably collapsed down there. So click on that, and then click on, then you go here and click on your H1. As soon as you click on your H1, that's the best way to then see it happening over here, because that highlights it. All right, so those are the 3 ways to find it. Click at the end of your H1, hit a return, and we're gonna put in another H2 right there. So we're gonna open up an H2. So what way do we insert an H2 without writing it in code? How have I taught you to insert stuff without having to write the code for it? Right now, I was asking Ali to insert a header, and she went in and wrote header, which is fine. But if you don't know how to write code, I had shown you a different way.
Go to insert on the right side.
Yeah, over here on the right side, you have the panel insert. Okay, and in the insert, we can go down to the heading, and we can insert a heading 2. And mine is already there, but if yours is not in 2, okay, then you might want to click on this little arrow and choose a 2, and choose 1, 2, or 3 or something like that. But I want a repeat. Whoops, I clicked twice. I clicked twice and showing it to you again, so I have an H2 inside of an H2. So I'm gonna do Control Z to get out of that. So now I have inserted an H2 tag, and notice that it comes with placeholder content. It says this is the content for layout H2 tag. Before I continue, is everyone there? Did you all insert another heading 2?
Diana, I have a quick question. So what you just did with that H2 within H2, does that do something to the code that makes it a little funky, or is that just like a repeat, like you said?
Yeah, it's funky. You shouldn't, I mean, unless you're trying to have that for any particular reason, but double tags inside of tags, it'll show up kind of correctly, but then it'll be a mess when you're trying to style it. So because after all, one will be empty and one will be full, right? So it wouldn't hurt it, but it would become that kind of dirty kind of code that's not really kosher. And at some point, if you have some problem, you don't know why, then you'll discover, well, that might be it, right? Because anything that's not completely clean could be a problem. But that said, if I had just written it, it would have shown up. So.
Okay, thank you.
So Deanna?
Yes?
What was the question?
Because I pressed twice. So look, if I press H2 again, look what happened here in my code. I got an opening tag for an heading 2, another one, and then a closed one and a closed one, because basically I inserted one inside of the other because I showed it twice. And so basically he asked me, is this bad? You know, to have this kind of, let's see if I can make it better. Is it bad to write code like that where you have a heading 2 inside of a heading 2? And it's basically, it's dirty code. It's still gonna work, but it's in the end, it's not clean. So I just went ahead and Control Z, I undid one of my 2 clicks and it went away. And now this is correct. You should have one heading 2 opener, put in the content and the setting in the second one. That's correct. So it's not one of those things that's gonna like destroy your website, but the addition of a lot of little things that don't work well at some point will cause some problems.
So what does it mean by dirty and clean code?
Well, this isn't a mistake. It's not like I'm missing a tag. So it'll still show up. But it's like when you're learning a language and you learn always to say the verb the wrong way, then yeah, you get your message across, but you better learn how to say it the right day someday. That's what I mean by dirty code. We call it when it's not really correct. Some things are mistakes. Like if you say the wrong word, people don't know. You want an apple and you ask for a pineapple, you're going to get a pineapple, not an apple. That's just wrong. But if what you're saying is apple, people will understand that it's apple. You know, oh, it's an apple. It'll be harder to understand, but it'll work, kind of thing. Somebody will give you an apple. That's kind of what I mean by, you know, dirty code versus clean code. Some things are just messy.
It doesn't really serve a purpose, right?
It doesn't serve a purpose.
Right.
So it could become a problem in the future when you do want to say style it and you discover that one of them has a class, the other one doesn't. So it could become a problem of user. So why have it when there's absolutely no need? Anyway, I don't want to spend too much more time talking about that one mistake I made, but other than in case that happens to you, consider that, yeah, a paragraph within a paragraph makes no sense. So that don't have that kind of stuff going on. If you see that something's, that would call it dirty code, is not wrong, but it's not crisp.
Syntax is not right.
So now I'm gonna get, this is the content for layout, for the heading 2 tag, which since I was clicking around, I lost the highlight for it. And since it's highlighted, I don't need to delete it. But if you want to hit the delete key, it goes away, and then you can write your own. So here I'm going to say, it'll be like a little subtitle, building a website with Dreamweaver. Now, as you can see, it's coming out already styled, and it's coming out styled with the kind of font that I chose before for my H2 in the CSS, right? So your H2 will come out with whatever font it is that you chose for your H2 in the CSS designer. I go to my CSS designer and I head down to my selectors. There's my H2 selector. And right now when I click on H2, see how 2 of them get highlighted? And it tells me that what I'm going to kind of move these around a little bit so I can see. So basically my H2 over here tells me that for text, I've chosen the glory, hallelujah cursive. That's the, I keep resizing this. Let me make this smaller because you guys don't have that much space to see things. There we go. So my heading 2, I don't need the media. Sorry, I keep moving things up because I want to make sure that I have the best use of my space. Somehow things got moved around a little bit. I don't really need that much space on the right. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So I don't know why this is dividing and I hit that. I tried to make it bigger, but instead I'm messing up my panel. I'm sorry. There we go. So when you click on your H2 selector, it tells you what your properties are. I go to my type and it tells me that I've chosen a glory hallelujah with that little bluish color. And since this is another heading 2, yep, it comes out in that bluish color. So now I have 2 of the same thing, right? Now, what if, I mean, clearly the idea almost like it shouldn't be another heading 2. It should probably be a heading 3 or a 4, but I'm trying to show you how to use a class, okay? So say that we do want to use a class, but we want is that this second one, the original one, the one that says by whoever your name is, we just want it to be smaller. So that's all we want this to be. We just want it to be smaller. Maybe we even want it to be black, okay? So that it matches more the paragraph, right? So we still need it to be a heading 2 because we wanted to have it that font, but we don't want it to be identical to the heading 2 that's up at top. Does that make sense? So if what I showed you in PowerPoint was correct, then I should be writing in here a class. Does that make sense? I should be inserting a class into this second H2 saying, well, I want you to be not exactly the same as the one on top. I want you to be black and I want you to be smaller. Yeah? You following me there? All right. So how do I do that? Well, I can do it 2 different ways. I can first insert a class and say, I'm going to call you smaller, right? But nothing's going to happen until I actually create it over here. So first, instead of creating it over here, so I have to insert it in HTML, but I also have to write it and create that class in CSS. So it's something that needs to be created in both places. Just like in HTML, we wrote the H2. In CSS, we get to make it look green. Now in H2, I'm going to insert the class, but in CSS, I'm going to say what that class is going to be. So watch, there's a couple of different ways to go by this. I could be writing it in here myself. I could actually type space class, yada, yada, which we would do if we were writing this as editing as code. But since we're in Dreamweaver, another option is to go up here. And you see where I'm selecting my Diana Musacchio. See that little plus sign over there? When I click there, see how the choice of class came in? I don't know if you saw that happen. So I'm going to click away again. I'm going to click, I'm clicking in the H2 either there or here. It doesn't matter. You click onto your second H2, the one that you want to modify, the one that you want to look different than the basic H2. And I'm going to say add class. And I'm going to call this one smaller, right? I can call it whatever I want. I'm just going to call it smaller and hit return. I'm going to wait until everyone is following me. Just write smaller and hit return and then wait. Don't do anything more. Is everyone there?
Yes.
Okay. More appropriately, I should say, is someone not there and needs a hand? If you're there and you have an extra hand, give me a little yes. I saw Leland putting it in there. If you don't have an extra hand because you're kind of trying to figure out where things are, it's okay. Just warn me if you're not there. All right. So here's the thing. I put in a class of smaller. I hit return, and then I waited there. Dorothy, I see your hand, so hold on a second. Let me just finish the explanation. First of all, it's telling me where do you want to put it, and yeah, I want to put it in my styles CSS, right? Because maybe I had different sets of styles. So I want to clarify that yes. I'll just click on styles CSS because yeah, that's right. That is where it's going to go. I'm not going to put it any other place. Just in case, don't go choosing anything else. Now look down here in your code and see how a class of smaller got inserted for me. All I did was I clicked that plus sign and wrote smaller. And in the code, look at what appeared. That class smaller that I showed you in my PowerPoint got written inside of my H2. See that? Okay, I'm just pointing it out. Now let me see. Dorothy, what's your question?
Oh, no, I didn't have one. You said raise your hand, so I did.
Oh,
you said give me a hand, and I did. No, I'm
Thank
okay.
you.
I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now I do want to see a little green yes. If everyone successfully managed to insert a class of smaller, not by writing it in, but by doing it up here in this live view. Did you insert your class of smaller? If you did not, give me a big red no, or now just wave me down because right now I'm able to see the group. If you have a question about this. I'm going to make the assumption, Hannah, that you don't have the files open. You might. Just so you know, just quickly to tell you, if you go over to the files that the handouts for Dreamweaver, there's going to be a Dreamweaver class files, and there's a thing that says copy these, and that is this, okay? So if you want to open it from there and use it for now, otherwise I'll show you later how to copy them into your drive. But if you follow what I'm saying, you can copy that, put them into your My Drive. Are you on your own computer though, or on your NVDI? I can't see you. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't.
I'm on my own computer.
Okay, so then go to go to SPCC Pipeline Google Drive,
Okay.
shared drives, and then you can right-click and download the class files, and you'll see one that says copy these. If you download them onto your computer, you don't need to copy them. Just open it up, and you'll be in the same space that we're in.
Okay.
And I can then help you if that was too fast, but I want to keep going with this explanation. All right. So let me see. Mira, yes, everyone has their second computer. Ali, did you follow? Do you have your class? I don't see a yes or a no on your buttons. Ali, did you get to insert your class?
No, it's actually, that was the issue, that I was taking up too much time, but when I hover over where you hover and get the box coming up, I wasn't able to get the box at all, and I'm still.
You know what? I'm remembering now something I noticed. I think that you're in live view. I think up here you're seeing things in live view. Are you in split view perchance? No.
Oh, I am in split. Yeah, I'm in split.
You're in split, and when you click on something, you don't get these little guys. I think I remember now you saying that you weren't getting them. You're not getting these little boxes.
Should I try it in design?
What's that?
No, that's right. That's correct.
You're not getting that. Go ahead and share your screen with me one more time, because yeah, I remember noticing that something looks strange on your screen. Let me stop my share and give me a little share. It's okay. It's not like you're taking too much time. If it's going to take a lot of time, I will say, okay, I got to continue, but give me a quick little share. So that I can try to help you.
Can you not see it? I think there's quite a lag as well.
Yeah, it is a little bit hard to well, right now nothing's sharing at all. Did you click the second share?
I've just done it again. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Click the second blue button that that says share, because right now you're kind of in the in-between. I'm not seeing the share. Is it sharing? No.
Oh, I don't know what's going on.
So click on the green share button, and then again on the blue one that's underneath. Oh no! I finally broke my beloved necklace. Let me take it out before I lose it. While that's happening, I'm noticing that one of my necklaces is hanging. I don't want to lose it. Okay. All right. So I don't know. You shared just fine before, but you're not able to share right now. Maybe the connection is bad. So anyway, in your case, let me just share again. And if you can't share, then go ahead and just, if clicking in here isn't working, then go to your code and copy this. You basically, when you write class, it'll open up the whole thing, and all you need to write in between the two parentheses is the word smaller. All the rest will be written for you. And make sure to do it next to the do it next to the H2 inside of the bracket. See how the bracket closes for the H2, for the heading 2 right after, okay? So that's where you want to have it. And just insert it that way. You're welcome. And then we'll try to trigger, figure out troubleshoot why yours isn't showing up. Okay, so now everyone at this point has inserted the class, I'm assuming, because if not, you haven't spoken up by now. I'm assuming you all inserted the class. Has anything changed then by Diana Musakio? Has anything changed here when I inserted that class of smaller?
No.
No, nothing inserted, nothing changed yet, because I haven't created a selector yet that tells that class how to look. Remember, I can do whatever I want in HTML, nothing will change until I add CSS to it. So let's head over to my CSS designer. If you're in files or in insert, go over to CSS designer. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah, yes I am. Go over to the CSS designer and we're gonna have to add a new selector, okay? So I'm gonna make sure that I scroll down and discover, guess what? It's been added for me. By having written it in here, remember when we wrote it, that this thing I had to say yes. I said click on, put it in the source of styles. Well, guess what? Go to your selectors and there it is. Body, HTML, and the last one, do you see the dot smaller that showed up there? Do you see it?
Yep. Yes.
So this is crucial. When you inserted the class, okay, I'm going to insert the class again. I'm going to get rid of it from here. Okay. When I clicked and did the plus, I wrote smaller. And then I hit return. And when I hit return, I was at, oh, now when I'm trying to do it again is not doing. I was asked if I wanted to put it in my CSS styles, and I said yes. So that's why this one here is showing up. Now, the fact that it has a dot in front of it is what classifies, what shows up as a class. Okay. In fact, if I go look at my CSS styles, I'll go see I'm looking at my CSS over here. I changed from source to my styles. At the very bottom of all my different stuff, there we go. The smaller popped in. And the only way I can tell it's a class is because it's starting with a period. So that's very important to leave it there. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to source. I'm going to go over here to the smaller, and I'm going to say, all right, I said that I wanted it to be black and smaller in font. I didn't specify how much smaller, so let's go over here to select it. Select your selector. Go to text, and we're going to choose a color for it. We want it to be black. And so there you go. We're choosing it to be black. And see how already there it went black? And I'm going to scroll. Let me just hide my DOM. I just double clicked on the word DOM so that I could see this a little bit bigger. Okay, so now on my font size, I'm going to go over here, click on my font size. And right now I'm going to choose, and I'm going to talk to you about this in a minute in the PowerPoint. But let's say that if I go to small, let's see what happens there. See how it got quite a bit smaller? So now I have an H2 and another H2 that look different. And the only way and reason they look different is because I added a class that I styled differently to the HTML tag. Now, as I said, I can add this smaller to anything. So say that the next time I write maybe another heading 1 somewhere, and I add the tag smaller to it, the class smaller to it, well, then maybe it'll appear small and black instead of whatever the heading 1 has to show up, okay? So this is independent from the H2. It can be added to anything. When you create a class, it can be added to any tag. All right, I'm gonna stop there, and I'm sure there's questions. So I see a raised hand. Is that a question, or is that you saying, yeah, you got it, Dorothy?
No, I have a question.
Okay, ask away.
Okay, mine, I don't know where to start. I did get the, let's see, go back to index.
Do you want to show me, since it's usually easier showing than everyone? By the way, go ahead and save all. I'm going to save all, since right now we've changed both source and styles because we've done something in there that's pretty different. Go ahead and save all, and then let me stop my share for you to give your own share, your screen. And then you can ask me your question. It's easier for me to see what you're asking. to answer you. Okay. All right. So tell me.
In the CSS, it's way down at the bottom, and it says smaller.
Yes, it will.
But
It appears at the
red.
bottom. Yep.
It's also red, and it doesn't change. It did not change up here.
It's red. Red means something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And my question is, I don't see it here in your selectors on the right. What happened to it? How did it appear there?
It didn't appear there, right? What did
So
appear,
how did you even?
I don't know. I did get it. I did get the little thing and
Let's-
typed in smaller. So if I
Go over to your source code and let me see. Yeah, there, the HTML.
I did
Class
that.
of Smaller
Mhm.
by Dorothy Oxner.
Just smaller. But over here, in the selector.
But what did it, where did it save to? That's the big question.
Right.
It did show up in your style. It did show up in your styles, but it's not here in your selector. So how did you change it? Were you able to style it at all yet? No.
No.
Oh, no. By the way, I just wanted to point out that if you look at her DOM, move your mouse down to show your DOM. Notice that your second H2, keep going down. No, it's okay. No, you don't need to make it big. See how her second H2 has a little class of smaller there? Just wanted to show that that's where it shows up. Okay, so you're heading to with a class of smaller, nothing's missing, there's no quotes missing, everything is fine there. What seems to be missing is that, so did you go into the did you hit return? Go up in the top where you inserted it in the smaller, click next to the R again, and okay, set it up again. Click the plus, say smaller, and now hit return. And now click on select a source styles CSS.
That's what I did not do.
Down, styles CSS, right there, that one.
Files. Okay.
You click that and choose styles CSS. Click on that. Yes, click. Perfect. Now you can click away. Now let's go ahead and see it. Yeah, so now look at your selector. There it is. It's been added.
Okay, then
Okay.
I can't get rid of all these little font face things.
Yeah, that's all the fonts that we inserted. So don't get rid of them because they're needed there. So now click on your smaller selector. The one that just appeared finally. Click on that one. Good. And now go to type, the T of the properties. Down into properties, type, and then make it black.
Oh, okay.
There where it says color, yeah. Click on color, the little box that's white box with a stripe. Choose black, which that's basically black, so that's it. It's kind of, nope. The black would be the other far corner. So yeah, and then click away again now. Click on some, or hit enter. That should do it. Yeah, and then scroll down a bit. You might want to close your DOM so that you can see. And scroll down a bit to font size and make it smaller. So right under color, you have to scroll a bit.
Right.
But you're seeing such a small bit of a window that it's hard to find it. So just get your DOM collapsed. Click on your DOM word, double click on your word DOM. Yeah, that works too. Okay, and now, perfect. And now scroll until you go to the top again. Go to the T again for the type. That'll help you jump to where you need to go. Go to the T. There you go. And then font size is like the 5th choice down or something. Keep going. There it is. And click on that and select small. And if you look now to your left, it's kind of hidden. You're going to have to scroll, but you should have a smaller.
No, it's not.
Heading 2.
It's not.
It's
Smaller.
not.
Because it's probably on the wrong one. It's not on this one.
No, it's on the right one. It's even in the code. It says smaller by Dorothy Oxner. The tag is on. The property is on. Did you show set? Can you go up and say show set to make sure that they got set? No, it seems to be all in the right place. So where it says next to properties, can I click on show set to make sure that we see them? Yeah. And there it is, small, font size small and black. Go ahead and do a save and let's see if you close and open up because everything is right. So go ahead and do a save all. Save all. Yeah, now close the index file, save file, close, and then open it up again. Yeah. Yeah, and then go ahead and go up to your files and open it up again. Double click to open it up again, just to see if it kicked in.
Where is it?
We're doing all this Zoom.
Nope, still same size.
That's bizarre. So now I'm going down to your code. Go to the HTML code and scroll down, make sure that everything is still set up. H2, class smaller. Yep, that's correct. And you have your styles, you have everything. And let's go to your styles CSS up next to source code and make sure that the stuff is written in your CSS and the correct CSS. Now scroll down, just in case you have another CSS lurking in there. See, they're red. Oh, see, you made two. You deleted one. Okay. So you see how you have two smallers now?
Yeah.
Go ahead and go and delete the one that's on line 53. Don't forget to get rid of the 54, line 54 as well. Go down and get rid of, yeah, that one and hit delete. Okay, and now this one here might not refer to the one that you were using.
It has no color.
Yeah, it says color. That's black. 000 is black.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, go to your CSS designer in case that now this one isn't considered, since you had two. Okay, so two things could have happened here. Let me let me just request remote control before you do anything else. Go ahead and say undo. I want to undo the fact that you got rid of the 53. So go up to, so say Control Z or Command Z to undo. Okay, so now plan B could be that that was the correct smaller. So we can select this and you can cut it from here. Okay, so go ahead and do Command X or Control X, cut it out, and then paste, go up to the 53 line, click in there. We deleted one and maybe it was the other one that had to be deleted. So go and click in there, hit return, and then paste. No, it was fine where you were. You have to write it in the end. Yeah, click, you're selecting it now. So click one more time so that the cursor is, it needs to be inside of the brackets. So click to the right of that bracket. Now hit return. Cool, and now paste.
I don't.
Command V or, no, paste.
I didn't copy anything. I hadn't
Oh,
anything.
I asked you to do Command X, which is cut.
I thought I did. No, actually, I deleted it. I didn't.
Oh, so if you delete it, then you have to enter it again. Okay, so then that's probably what happened. So let's delete both. Go ahead and delete both and enter the whole thing again. Just delete both at this point then. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and just hit delete and get rid of it all. I had, when I said do Command X was so that it would stay in your memory and you just paste it on top. Now go ahead and hit one more return. Let's see if we can get rid of whatever is written in that line 53. Hit one more delete, I mean, yeah. So what's missing here is that you got rid of, you deleted the last tab of the nav. The closing tab of the nav is missing right now. So you know what, all this time, maybe that's all it was, now that I think about it. Your last tab of the nav might have been missing. Go ahead and close that. It's a shift uppercase closing bracket. Do you know on your keyboard to the closing bracket? There it is. So there you see how 54 now is looking good?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no red on it. So maybe that's all that was happening. I don't know. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the source code. The class of smaller is still there, but now it looks like we might need to just add it in your Yeah, it's missing. So let's just try adding it. It's simpler. Go to the glow selector plus and write it yourself. Go over here to the selectors, hit the plus sign and write dot smaller. No, not equal dot period, not plus. Period and then smaller. Yeah, in fact, there it is. It's see, it found it. So click on that thing that's there to make sure it's the right one. Here you go, hit return. Okay, so now go back to properties, turn off the show set because there's nothing for it. Hopefully the rest of you are following through with what's happening because this will happen a lot. Okay, go to the T for type and then get it the color and the size again. And hopefully this time it'll stick. Okay, click on that. Yeah, click on it, the black, and then click away. Wow, every time you click, everything kind of, your whole screen goes white for me. Click away. There, see how by Dorothy Oxner already got black? Now go down to the size and make it smaller, or make it small. So guys, you just need to scroll down like 4 or 5 more words. So guys, basically, I know it took a little while because I'm trying not to do it for her, but all that was happening there is that she was having 2 different classes appear, and the wrong one had taken on the type smaller and black, and so the type wasn't changing because the second one wasn't the one that was assigned. So you cannot have 2 classes with the same name. So basically the solution was go in and delete both of those smallers and make just one. And as soon as you have one, there it is, it's working now. Okay, so a lot of the times here in the selectors, I know because when I go walk around your guys, wait, don't stop sharing. Say save all, but don't stop sharing. Yeah, save all. When I go walking around when you guys are doing these things, the biggest problem I see is where you guys have repetition of selectors. And already looking at Dorothy's here, I see that she has body H1, H2, image, footer, section. Then she has body header and body section H1. Now, I'm not sure here if she was trying to style the header or the body. There's already a body on top. So I'm going to assume that the body header was really header instead of body header, because I do believe we made a header. Didn't we make a header style of our own? No, we haven't styled the header. I'm looking at the sums that we created and we don't have a header, nor do we have, we do have a section and she already has it. So basically the last 2 that she has here, this body header right there, and this body section header are probably unnecessary. My problem is that I don't know which one is actually, okay. Pay attention to what I'm doing right here. I'm trying to decide which one is right and which one is wrong over here, right? So it's important to pay attention to what's happening because she's got 2 and she should only have 1 for H1. So I click on body. Body is everything. I look at the show set and I discover, yes, that's the background color for body. So that's correct. I go to H1. And in the show set, it shows that we chose the color and we chose the pixels. We did everything for that one, so that's correct. So then I go over to this body header, and in the show set, there's nothing chosen for it. So since it means nothing, this one is useless, I can just get rid of it. But I didn't know if that one was right or this one was right, so I just had to go back and see which one had the property set for it, and it was that one. So this one's empty. So that means I can delete it. And then this one as well. Is this an H1 or is this the H1? So I click on this H1 and I discover that in the show set, there's nothing. It's easier because if I open this up, I have to scroll through everything to see if there's any settings, but by clicking show set, I can see what's been selected for it and there's nothing. So these 2 are empty, okay? So I'm gonna have her delete them, and how you do that is you select it. I've already selected one of them, Dorothy, and then go up here to where we add a selector. We can also get rid of the selector by clicking on that little minus. So go and click on that minus to get rid of that 1 extra body section H1 that we don't want. Yep. And then select body header and hit minus again. And then you look at everything and it's looking really clean now. Now, at some point she had 2 smallers, and that's why nothing was working. And when I had her delete 1 smaller, it still wasn't working because all the settings had been set in the other smaller, okay? So then I said, okay, let's clean it up, delete both smallers and write it in again. All right, so now when you click on her smaller, there is a show set, she's got the black and small. All right, so keep notice, you don't want, as much as you didn't want in the code, the extra heading 2, you know, when I said that's dirty code, here having extra selectors that you don't need is also a mess, especially if you actually did have one that show H1 that shows the background color and another H1 that shows the text, because then they're both working, but they're overwriting each other. That would be a mess. You would want to make sure that if you have 2 H1s, that you delete one of them and you put all the properties onto only one. Okay. All right. I'm stopping your sharing. Thank you for doing that. Was there anyone else in trouble with their class? Anyone else who needs help with their class? If your class is fine and it's worked, give me a little yes, green symbol, green little check mark saying that your class is working and it's fine. And also what I want to make sure this is saying is that your selectors are cleaned up, that you saw what I did with Dorothy and that you cleaned up your selectors. Robert, were you saying, can you hear me?
I did.
All right.
Okay, I've got the one of the H2s smaller, and for some reason I can't get the second H2.
I don't want the second one to be smaller. I want one to stay as is, and I only want one to be smaller. Go ahead and share your screen.
Oh, actually, that's where I am.
Oh.
See.
Then you're fine. The first H2, we didn't add a class to it, so it should show up the way we styled it the other day.
Okay.
The second H2, we added the class of smaller, and then we went and created a selector called smaller. Well, the selector was created by Dreamweaver for us, and we just styled it into something smaller and black. So only the one that has the class applied to it should get smaller and black. Is that what's happening to you? If so, it's fine.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Cool. You're fine then. Great. Vivian is fine. Ali, I don't know. You don't have a little yes on yours. So Ali, did your class work out? Okay, Leland had dropped out. Here he is again. All right. Or he's in with the second screen. So Ali, I'm not sure if you're there, if you can hear me, but I just want to make sure that you're able to do this.
Well, I tried to put it in manually, and I'm obviously doing something wrong because there's a red line on that, a red number on that code line.
Okay, so here, give one more try at sharing. See if this time the sharing happens, because I'm sure I want to make sure that everyone gets at least one chance of class. Now, for those of you who have created a class already and it's working and life is good, then go ahead and just to practice, add another H1 and give it a class. Just give it a little try. Don't sit there, and then you can delete that. But meanwhile, see if Ali can share so I can help her.
Could you send me the share thing? Here we go.
So click your green share button and then the second little blue share button. It's 2 buttons you need to click. So Leland, I noticed you raised your hand for a second and now it's gone. Oh, you're saying no, like it didn't work for you. So you have a question?
Yeah, I got the H2 by my name to go smaller, but then when I try to fiddle around with building a website with Dream just to try to change its size, it changes both the building a website and by Leland.
Okay.
The sizes as the same, so I was hoping to do that after Ali's done.
Great, we'll do that. We'll do that in a minute. So let me go over here and so Ali, thank you. I'm glad you're sharing. So basically, if I look down at your code, the reason your class isn't working is because it's you've got that little right before the C, you've got a little thing that's closing your H2 tab. So click in there and hit a delete and now make a little space. There you go.
Ah,
So now that's cleaned up. Now we need to see what else got messed up in order for it not to be showing. Okay, so that's one part of it. Now, I wanted to go back up here to see why you are not able to, let me see if I can get access. I'm going to request remote control. If you're able to say yes to that, do you see
yes.
the request? Okay, good. So now this means that I'm in your thing, and I just want to see in here. Oh, well, as soon as I got in, it's working. Look at that. Magic. All right, so basically it wasn't me. It's just that you fixed that H2 and it took a second to go in and fix itself. See? So
Okay,
now it
great.
worked. So that wasn't me, but I just wanted to see why when you clicked in here, you're not getting that box. That's really what's confusing me. What version of HT or of InDesign Dreamweaver are you using? I'm wondering.
Just the one from the
From VDI.
yeah, the VM view thing.
Uh-huh. It looks a bit different. I'm wondering, you see the split, you see the design. Yeah. Oh, you have it in design view instead of in live view. Okay, so see up here where it says split? On the right side, you're in design view instead of in live view. See all these boxes. So you need to click on that and switch that to live view. Huh. There you go. So now if you were to click in here, you'd see that you can see the same thing that I'm showing. Okay. So guys, up there in split, it shows you half code, half whatever is here, half code and half live. She had changed this to design view, and design view is a whole nother shebang that we're definitely not going to get into, and it's unnecessary right now. So that's the one you need to be in, and that's why she wasn't able to do things in here. And then when you try to do it in there, it's very, very easy to mess up the code, which is what happened to her. But that's why we're doing it with Dreamweaver's helpful hints instead of by typing it in, because if we're not really good at typing in code, it's very easy to mess it up. And so anyway, I fixed her code and it worked, but I also, this was the important thing. She wasn't seeing the live view. So everyone make sure you're doing that. Okay, so you shouldn't have any more problems now. I'll leave following because now you got that set up. Okay, so go ahead and say, save all, everyone. Leland, what's your question? Sorry, I interrupted.
Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
You said that you had both of yours showing up. Both of them were changing instead of just one. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see what could be happening here.
I think. Anyways, so this first one, I just tested to see if I was able to change the size without affecting the building a website with Dreamweaver. I don't know why it cut out, but I was able to change that. So,
and it seems to have worked because instead of going smaller,
maybe what is the problem that I have? I don't have H2 here.
Okay, Leland, I can't hear you. I'm going to stop my video and I'm going to ask maybe, I'm going to stop my video to see if that helps.
Okay, yeah, can you give me 1 second? I think someone turned the microwave on in my house, so I'm give me one second.
That happens in my house all the time, yes. Over here, you guys, when we're in class, when my kids are in class, and suddenly I finish teaching at midday, I go and I heat up my coffee or something, and I hear someone yelling, "Ah!" because I turn on the microwave, and it's my son who is in the furthest room, who his whole class cancels, and I go, "Oh, you didn't put a note," you know. So we've got these little schedules when which you can turn on the microwave. All right. I also turned my video off to see if that helps a bit. Okay. So, but I wanted to say, by the way, what you're doing is working, because although don't be confused, you guys, because although his class is called smaller, if you look at what he did in his properties, he actually chose extra large font. So his H2 is getting much bigger. You see that? Because he chose extra large font. Can you point to what I mean when I say you chose extra large font? Right there. Instead of going smaller, he chose extra large font. Just the word smaller is a word. It means nothing. It's a name. It could have been called dog. I mean, it could have been called anything, right? In this case. So yeah. So what's your question?
So I tried to manipulate this size, but I noticed that if I do medium, it also affects this one here. And I was going to say it's probably because I have no class here. That's why it's affecting it, but I don't know.
No, it does. It didn't affect them. That one didn't change. The only one that changes by Leland Sue. Change it again
weird,
to
because if
extra.
I do extra
go
large.
To extra, but that's correct because you applied the class to by Leland Sue. Go look down in your code. Your class is on your H2 by Leland Sue. So that's the one that's changing, and that's correct.
That's weird.
So you're building a website with Dream does not have a class applied to it. So that one stayed the same way. That's never changed. That's whatever you had set it up at. So go to show set. Go to show set for that one. And what you have chosen there is text and extra large. Okay, so now click on that and change that and see why that's not. Go ahead and go to small. Okay, so the one that's not working is, oh wait, you still have your smaller class selected. Careful, careful. Go to CSS again. Go to this, no, to the right where you changed the text size. You've got your selector for smaller selected, so you just went small. So what changed again is your by Leland Sue. You need to go and select your H2 selector if you want your H2 selector to change. So go up, no, on the right side again. Go up there and find your H2 selector, that one. Click on that. Cool. And this is the one that says font size medium. Go down and click on that and change that to whatever you want, extra large. And that'll change your H2. It seems to me that you're not very clear. Look down at your screen, at your source. Your H2, your heading 2 is building a website with a dream.
Yes.
Okay. So on the right side right now, your selector H2 is what you've selected. So when you went extra large, building a website with a dream is what went extra large. That's correct. Go ahead and instead of extra large, go back down there and select, I don't know, extra small, the very tiniest one. Click on that one. Building the website with a dream got so smart you barely see it. It went behind that thing. Okay, so what's happening there is correct. Okay, because now the only reason the other one isn't changing is because we have given it an override with the class of smaller. So go back and make it a normal size now. You're heading 2, large or whatever. So that's your heading 2. And your heading 2 class smaller isn't being affected by any of that because the class of smaller is overriding, remember cascading style sheets, it's overriding the initial H2. If you go to your styles, you know how Dorothy said it shows up at the bottom, yes. Anything that's below overrides anything that's above, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So the class of smaller is overriding anything you do to the H2. So the building a website with Dream is pure H2 versus by Leland is H2 class of smaller. So it just ignores whatever it is that the other one is. If it's the same choice, it doesn't ignore everything. If you had not changed the color, it would be, you haven't changed the color I'm seeing, yours is still the same color.
Right.
But the size is what's changing. If you also change the color, then it's also going to do that. Okay. So that's very important that you ask this question, because why is it that this one is changing? No matter what you do to the H2, this one at this point is ignoring it. Right. In your case, you haven't changed the color of your H2. So go to your H2 and change the color of your H2, and you'll see that both of them are going to change because you didn't make a choice of yeah, go ahead. That's a great, very different choice, and click away and see how they both change. because you did not override with your smaller, you did not override the color. The rest of the people here did override it by making it black. So theirs is completely separated. But in your case, it's responding to the first request of be this color, but you're overriding the size. Did everyone understand what I'm showing with his example, you guys? That he didn't change the color. He still has the same color as the H2. So by changing the H2, they both changed color. The only thing his smaller does is change only the size. So it's working as it should. But this could have caused some other questions. So any questions about this? Class, by the way, is not the easiest thing to understand at all. So many times I have to explain that a few times until you kind of get it. But basically it's like you're modifying something that's set in stone at the top and you go, you know what? I just want to override this little part of it. And you make a class, and that it writes it in the source code. If you go to your, can you go to your styles, please, Leland? And notice that, again, smaller appears on line 47. It's at the bottom. If you scroll up to your H2 is up in line, I don't know, let's see where, in line 14. And that one is the original request for H2, and anything that comes underneath it is going to override the original request. Does that make sense, you guys? I'm cleaning out everyone's answers, and if you're clear about this and everything's good, give me a good old yay, and I'll move on to something else. And if you're not sure, give me a can you explain something again? Because I tell you, it's questions that sometimes bring up for me what it is that's not clear. Because of course it's crystal clear to me, but I do my best to explain it. And then even then, maybe I missed something crucial. And the example that Leland just showed me that I hadn't forgotten to explain to you guys about the whole override of the whole thing of where it overrides because it's a cascading style sheet. So
so Deanna, the override, it basically keeps the thing constant while you're changing the other thing, or is the override the one that changes the thing? I just want to make sure I understand.
It only overrides whatever property it only overrides whatever property you're changing. So in your case, the only property you changed was color. Was size, and you left color. It's a better example. I shouldn't have had everyone change color, because then it's a bit harder to understand. Because then you'd see that the only thing that was overridden was color. Now for mine, I actually changed a color as well, and that was a bad idea. So actually it would be good right now if we could go to smaller and actually click on it and give it back the same color that we had. And I'm going to do that. So everyone go to your smaller
Can
selector.
you share your screen? Yeah.
Oh, yep. Thank you. Go back to your smaller selector. Go back to your smaller selector, go to color, and then use the little eyedropper and go see if you can pick up again the color of the Dreamweaver, which is that, in my case, that kind of a weird little blue. And that way you're basically seeing that now we're back to having, or you can type in whatever you had for H2. I had 15478. You can just copy straight from there and put it back in there. So then you'll see that the only thing that changed is the font. So right now I can make this is what Leland was doing. I can go in and I said small, but I can make it be extra small. It's really tiny. I can make it be double extra large, and it's much bigger. And the only thing that's changing is the size. Now, if I chose to maybe center it, then that would change as well. Now it's centering. Okay, so I didn't choose to center it, but if I were to choose something like that, that would change as well. But anything that I'm not overwriting, anything that's identical to the H2 stays. So it's the same font, and now it's the same color again. So that's an example of class. Now we're going to make another paragraph, and then we can try class out again with another paragraph. But right now I just want to make sure that everyone gets this first example. And I'm going to do save all. All right, how's it going, guys? Looking at the time. Is it time for a break? 5:30, 77. Oh, there's so much to show you today. By the way, this is the next to last class. So just so you are forewarned, next class will be our last class. So I'm trying to get quite a bit done today. How about we take a break? Is 10 minutes going to be enough? Got so much. Or do we need 15? It's okay if you need 15. But if 10 is enough, then come back in 10 minutes and I won't, you know. But no, that won't work. That won't work because if you come 5 minutes later, you'll lose it. Does anyone need 15? Give me a yay. Nope. Some of you might need to have dinner or something. Okay, then let's do it 10 minutes. So it's 7:06. How about we back at 7:16? Okay?
Sounds good.
See you guys at 7:16. Oh. All right, I'm back. Wow, 10 minutes goes by really fast. So if you hear me speaking and you're making your way back, that's good. I am waiting to hear that you're all here.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Oh, looking at my necklace that I love and adore that just broke today after years. Okay, so I can't complain, but still, I need to figure it out. It seems to be the week. I know, it's a strange week. We have yesterday they cut our electricity all day because of something going on in the neighborhood. I know they're fixing streets and stuff. Today they cut our water off all day. Last week I had no refrigerator. The guy came and fixed it 3 times. It finally is working. But meanwhile, a lot of our food got bad because he would fix it. We put our food in there again, and then it would go bad again, and he couldn't come for another day. So,
oh no.
It's like, come on now, stop. I want things to work. All right. I see Robert came back, and I hear Chris, and oh, there's Tim. Okay. Come on back, come on back. And I'm not sure, I might have lost Hannah because I couldn't help her connect. Maybe she'll come back, but I didn't. She hasn't been there a few days. I knew it'd be hard to catch her up. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Here we go. Take out my little start recordings pointers out. I have to remind myself stop and start recording. So for whoever watches the videos, it's easier when I remember to pause, and then you don't have to sit through a 15-minute little space, which of course you can fast forward through, but it makes it smaller files. All right. So here we have our website up until now. I want us to add some new stuff. I want to change some of the things that we've been using, and I want to see where we're at right now, because one thing is to see it like this and one thing is to be in person. And there's something about the background and the footer that I want to show you guys, but we can't see that until we see it for real. So I'm going to head over down to this little icon, and I'm going to say check it out in Google Chrome. So I'm going to click on that, and here's my screen. And let's see how it's working. I'm going to make it bigger and wider. Okay, so this is the real thing now. This is the actual internet. And what's happening is that my footer isn't really at the bottom, is it? It's just kind of hanging out somewhere in the middle. It's underneath these things, but it's not at the bottom of the page. And remember that when we created this layout, we had asked for this to float left and this to float right. And then this thing, we said clear float so that it would go down to the bottom. So those are the settings that we have for these sections right now. We have an image, we have, this is called a section. We have the nav up there and the header and the head, I'm sorry. No, this is in the header. God, even I'm getting confused. And the footer down there. So now what I want to do next is I want to put something in this background instead of just this blank color. I want to put an image in the background. And I also want to be able to fix this header, this footer to the bottom, and I'm going to give it a little gradient and stuff. So in order to do that first, and then after that, we're going to start focusing on getting our navs to work better. But I don't want to change the colors of our nav or anything like that until we know what background we're going to have. So, okay, so this is what I wanted to see. Now that I've seen it, because I'm in such a limited space, I'm going to close it. As always, as I said, if you have more space, you should be looking at what you're designing all the time. And so let's head over to our footer. So the footer in code is fine, and in code meaning in HTML, there's nothing really that needs to happen in the code. But what we need to do is we need to make it look different. And for that, what we need to do is we need to go over to the CSS selector over here. So go choose your CSS selector, which hopefully you all have. And we want this footer to have a couple of different properties. So if perchance down here in the properties, you see show set, and I'm going to drag it up a little bit higher so we can see. In the show set, what we did is we originally set some padding. It says 25 pixels on the top and 25 pixels on the bottom. And that's because otherwise the edges of this footer were collapsing on top of my wording. So when I did not have this, I'm going to delete that here. And I'm going to delete that there. Then when I go down to my code, see, I had no space around my copyright. Okay, so that's what we accomplished, and I'm gonna Control Z so that I can get that back. So now I got my 25 pixels top and bottom back. We gave it that internal space, okay, to breathe. Now we actually centered it also, and we centered it by choosing text align center, and we made it white because we had this black background. Okay, now I want to change this background to a gradient, but I don't want to do that until I decide what color my actual real background is going to be. So to do that, I want us to first look at our background, and instead of bringing in a color like we have right now, I want us to bring an image. Okay, so where did I choose this color here? What is this, in my case, kind of slate gray, bluish gray, dark gray thing? What is this area? And if you don't know what tag this area is, if you just kind of click on it, I did here. What tag is showing up here?
Body.
Body.
Yep, my body tag up there. Perfect. Okay. So it's my body tag. If I go up to my body tag, I see over here that I gave it this gray slate color and stuff like that. So I'm going to change that for an image. I want to have a photo be in the background here. Okay. So when I put in that photo, I'll be able to decide what color I want my footer to be. But what I want to do now for my footer is change its setting so it's not a floater anymore. And later we'll come back and change the color depending on whatever background we choose, photo we choose to have in there. So back to footer. I just want to make sure you guys understand that we're talking about the body and the footer, and what you do to one relates to the other, right? Okay, so let's go to the footer. And in the footer here, I had us choose position background attachment fix, but in reality we don't need that background attachment fix. So you guys see what I mean it when you say the footer show set? This shows you all the things. And just to be clear, over here on the left, I'm also going to click styles so that you guys can see on the styles also what we're talking about. These are the footer choices. And I'm talking about background attachment fixed. And I don't really need that for the footer. I'm going to do that to my background. So I don't need that choice. I actually want the position to be fixed. So whenever I had you guys do that and then I saw it floating, I went, oops, but we haven't worked on the footer yet. So now that we're working on the footer, let's go fix that. Now, I could go into the code and just delete that. That's one way to do it. Or I can go over here where it says shows my set. And over here, I want to teach you how to delete something that you don't want anymore. As much as I just deleted that padding and put it in again, I deleted it because I hit on this little trash can that's there. If I go to background attachment fixed, you see how over here I have a little trash can as well. So I'm going to stop here and make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing and that you're able to follow. But do you all see your footer, show set, and all of our choices? And at the very bottom, the last choice is background attachment fixed. I don't know if all of you added that. If you're picking up the files from me, then you have it there because I added that. But maybe those of you who are doing your own, you might have never done that. But if you didn't, you won't see it. If you did, then you have to click on it and hit that little trash can. And if you pay attention, meanwhile, over here, you'll see that line 41 is going to disappear. So I'm going to hit that trash can now. And over here in my footer, line 41 disappeared and it turned into, you know, the next one came up. So that's how you would get rid of a property that you don't want anymore. Instead, I want to add position fixed. But I can't add position fixed in my show set mode because this is just showing me what exists. If I want to add something new, I need to uncheck the show set. Okay. And now I'm going to go over to the first tag, which is the layout, and I'm going to start scrolling down and I'm going to go find position. Okay. So again, click on the first one, and here where we added margin or padding, over here, I have the choice to put position. And this is where I'm going to click and say that I want my position to be fixed. And when it says, where do you want your position fixed? Because I look over here, suddenly it's a mess. Well, I want it fixed to the bottom. So in this little box over here, I'm going to click on bottom. Okay. And I'm going to say that I want it to have 0 pixels. So 0 pixels is equivalent to the very bottom. So I'm going to click on pixels over here and say 0 pixels. Now it's stuck to the bottom. The problem is that by sticking it to the bottom down here, now the whole vision or shape of it has changed. My content now is instead of being the entire box long width that I had before, now it's just this little tiny bit. So I need to keep doing something to this. I need to change the width of this thing so that it encompasses the whole bottom of my page. I also need to add something more to the sides to make sure that it doesn't get cut off. See, I have padding top and bottom, but I have nothing on the left or on the right. Okay. So instead of adding stuff to the left and to the right, I'm going to go up and I'm going to make this thing, the width of this thing be the entire width of the bottom. So basically I scrolled up and went to the width, and here in the width, I'm going to have this be 100%. So it's going to always be 100%. So I clicked on 100% first. So first you need to choose what you're using. I use percentage. And then I'm going to write 100 in there. So 100% and then hit return. And now it's back to being as wide as possible. See that? It's fixed from end to end. And if I look over here in my footer on the CSS, now I have added the position fixed, the bottom 0%, and the width 100%. So now it kind of looks like I did before, except for that it's, I had to label the width, whereas before it was automatically going as wide as everything. Now I had to add that. I'm going to go ahead and see how that works. So I'm going to save everything, and then I'm going to go check so that I can show you what position fixed means, because you won't see that until you see it in person. And then after that, I'm going to help you if you're lost with what I did. Okay, so here's my web page now, and you see how my copyright is at the bottom now as opposed to before. And if I scroll, and I'm going to make this this window smaller, I'm going to make it, here we go. I'm going to grab this window. It's a very big window. Okay, so now I've made that window kind of very thin. It's kind of weird because you're seeing the stuff behind, but this is my window. And now if I scroll up or down, see how I'm scrolling up and down, but my copyright is fixed down there. It's not moving from the bottom. Does that make sense? Can you see what I just did by fixing it to the bottom? I've made it stick to the very bottom of my screen. But if I scroll up or down, it's always available. So that's just a different way to have it happen. Let me close this and let me ask you guys, how's it going for you? Did you manage to change your footer?
You lost me.
What's that?
You lost me.
Okay. So let's head back to footer. And I don't know what your footer had set up because some of you guys aren't copying from my file. So first thing I said is, let's go see what settings you have on footer. So whenever you want to see what settings you have, you need to show set. It's equivalent to seeing this little bit where you see what you've actually chosen. When you show set is off, you have every option in the world and it's hard to see what's been chosen and what's not been chosen. See what I mean? This is where you make your choices. If I want to go see what's up for nav, if I'm not showing set, I have no idea. I have to scroll through everything to see what's chosen for nav. So if I do have it and I click show set, it'll show me, oh look, for nav all I have is the color. That's all I've changed for nav. Does that make sense? That's the difference of the good show set button. It shows you every property under the world and not only what you've chosen. So if I want to see what I applied to section, instead of scrolling through everything, I show set and I go, oh, I've applied width, margin, padding, float, and background color. Those are the things I've applied to properties. So that's what show set means, okay? So what I said is go to footer and show set to see what you have on your footer. At the same time, since this might be harder for you to read, I also said go to styles and go check in styles, pull up your footer and see what you've got on your footer. And what I had on my footer was background color. I had a color. So basically the background color here is that tone, the 1F, 1F, 1F for me. You could have chosen another one. My color here is my text, copyright, it's white, FFFF is white. Then I had a text align center. Then I had a padding top and bottom. And then I had a clear, and that clear was clearing those floats. And then I now added position fixed, bottom 0 pixels, and width 100%. But there was one thing I didn't want anymore, which was the background fixed. So I took it off, I deleted it. So if it's easier for you to select this and just delete it from here, then go ahead, delete it from there. And if you delete it from there, it's equivalent as if you had deleted it from up here, okay? So if I go back to footer, now I don't have my position fixed anymore, all right? But you can add it again. You can take it from here or from here. So what I had shown you, I'm gonna undo what I just did so that my position fix appears again. If you don't want something to delete it from the code, you delete it from here. And I showed you how to go find something that you don't want. And there's always a little, when you hover over it, there's a little trash can on this side, okay? So that's what I was trying to do. I was showing you how to get rid of stuff from the CSS designer. Or if you understand code, you just select it and you delete it from the code, okay? So now, the settings that I wanted us to add to the footer were just position fixed, bottom 0 pixels, and width. So I'm gonna delete all the 3 of them and I'm gonna set them again so that everyone can follow with me. So I'm gonna go to footer, turn off my show set, and now I'm gonna ask step by step for everyone to tell me, are you all in footer? Is your show set off? Robert, are you in footer and your show set is off over here?
Yes.
Okay. Now click on the first choice, which is your background layout. And we're gonna first set a width to it. Don't need to do it in the order, doesn't matter in this case. So I'm gonna set a width. So the width, I'm gonna click over here and I want it to span the entire thing. So I'm gonna go 100%. So I'm gonna find the percentage, which is 100 over there, and I'm gonna type in 100 and hit return. So now everyone should see 100%. And if I keep an eye on the style, if I keep an eye over here on the CSS styles, I'll see that now a new thing has showed up that says width 100%. That's how you know it went. If you hit that little return key, then you know it went because it shows up in there. Okay, so did everyone set in their 100% width now?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna scroll down and I don't need a margin because I want it way at the bottom, so I don't want any extra space around it. But what I do want is to make sure that you had some padding, and that was from before. But what I want to work on is in position. So I'm scrolling down and I get under padding, I have position. I'm going to click on position and then I'm going to choose fixed position. I'm going to fix it to the bottom of the screen, no matter what gets scrolled. That's what fixed means. Well, right now it says fixed. It doesn't say fixed to what. So now that fixed, I have to say where to. I want to fix it to the bottom. Okay, so this is where I say to the bottom. Did everyone write in the fixed over there?
Yes.
Dorothy, how are you doing? You following? Everyone okay?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Mira?
Yep, good.
All right. So now I'm going to the bottom of the position, to the position of bottom. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to choose, in this case, 0 pixels. 0 pixels is no space between the copyright and the bottom, like between the element, which in this case is the footnote, and the bottom. So I'm going to click on pixels and I'm going to leave 0 and hit enter. And if I look over here, my position of 0 pixels has been entered. Okay. If I now show set, then this is equivalent to what's in here. Now we're going to come back to this and add a different color to it, but I want us to first go find an image that we're going to use for our background. That's not this one. So instead of a color, I want to show you guys how to insert an image for the background. Let's go ahead and, because some of the choices are going to be a bit similar to what we just did. So first of all, remember that I asked where does this grayish slate color exist, and the answer was in the body. Let's head over to the selector of body. Robert, is your footer set up now with these settings? You're all okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now head over on the selectors to the body. All right, I'm gonna make this window a little bit smaller. I find that some of you guys who are trying to see this on your screen, having the big window is confusing. Okay, so I'm in body. And if I show my set, all I have chosen for body is a font family, which is now only applying to the paragraph, right? To the P, and a background color. So now instead of a color, I want to add a photo as the background. So let's open up the show set so that we can start adding some stuff in there. I also want in here to scroll up to the body so that I like to see both at the same time, just so that you see what's happening. That over here in my body, it's the very first, it's the very first, sorry, I scrolled up. It's the very first selector, my body, and it shows background and font family. That's all it shows. Okay. So over here under body, I am going to go to background again. And in background, if I scroll down, you'll see that at some point I chose a color. Where's my body color? Here, background. I guess that was layout. Background is this little tab right there. the third and fourth one. So here's my background color. Okay, I can leave the background color if I want, just in case the image doesn't work, then it can default to this or something. I don't really need to get rid of it, but you'll see that by putting an image as a background, it's gonna override that. The image is gonna take over. So over here it says background image, all right? So now I wanna bring in a background image, but the only images that I have right now that I gave you guys to download are the images that are part of those websites that we have in our sample files. Let's go use one of those. It's gonna look weird, but then I'm gonna show you how to download something that's actually much better. So click on this little folder, and it's gonna take you to the images folder in your root folder, which it's already, and if you're not sure if it's going to the right place, if you don't know where this is, always the solution is to hit the word site root, because when you click site root, you know for sure it's taking you to the right place. And in the site root, we had a folder called images. We did it so long ago that I don't know if you remember. If you double click on those images, how many images do we have in there? Flowers edited, right? Which is this big one. So
Yeah.
that means that this is not the place to go source my files. This file is not my background image. So when you go and click on this little folder, it'll always tell you, it'll always take you to the place where your images should be. But if your images aren't in there yet, how do you get them in, right? So let's go find an image. There's two things we can do. We can go up, for those of you who are in your own homes, wherever you put these files, like, you know, if you see up here, you can actually click on Deanna's first website, and then right outside of that, you see that it says Dreamweaver, right? So you can kind of click your way with this and in and out. Or for those of you who are in VDI like me, you can click again on the whole Google Drive file stream, go to my drive, and go to the Dreamweaver class files. If you copied them all. If you didn't copy them all, then go to Google Drive file stream shared drives, Dreamweaver shared drive, and there you have class files. I just don't know where you guys have all your stuff, so I'm taking you to all the possible options. Now, over here is where we have some images. Now, none of these images, I'm going to click on sample images. None of these images really work well for backgrounds. I hate the PC that doesn't actually show you an image, or is it maybe because I'm on BDI? But anyway, none of these really work right now as a background image, but just so you guys see what's happening, we'll enter one of these and then we'll go find a good one. So I'm going to choose this guy, the Melody and Lily final, which is not a good background image, but it's an image. I want you to see what happens. So I'm going to say where I found it is in the Dreamweaver class files, guys, in a folder called sample images. Okay, double click on sample images, Melody and Lily final, ready. I'm going to say okay, and pay attention. This is an important box that comes up. It says this file is not in the root folder. So if you leave it there, you'll be in trouble. This is your root folder. Would you want me to make a copy of this file into your root folder? It's been really helpful. So before I say yes, I want to make sure, is everyone following me? If you don't find this folder, find any photograph that's on your hard drive. It doesn't matter for this example. We're all going to go find something better. Find a photograph, click on it, and this is going to show up. And it's going to tell you, well, sorry, but this photo isn't where it should be. Do you want me to make a copy? Are you all there? Do you all see a photo, a JPEG somewhere that's asking you?
No.
To become a copy? Okay, so you need to go and, so I'm going to cancel this again. It all starts over here in the background image.
I don't have that.
All right, so click on your body selector. Up at the top of your selectors, click on body.
Okay.
So now make sure that you're not just showing set. So if you see show set, turn off show set. And if you're not seeing show set, then you're fine.
Okay.
Then go down here and we're going to go to 1, 2, 3, the fourth little icon under properties, and click on that.
That's background?
Yep, this is background.
Okay.
And here you see background color that we had already chosen, and now background images. So we're gonna have to find an image. And since I don't know, I'm gonna have to look around, click on this little folder icon right there. And that's gonna open your browser.
Right.
Now, when this browser opens up, go, for this example, go to anywhere on your computer that you have an image. But if you're on VDI, you might not have many images. So I was showing people where I put some images. But if you have some images on your computer, go choose anything that's a JPEG. But if you go to the downloaded class files that I gave you, then you should find them at the worst case scenario. I know I have them in the shared drives, even if you didn't copy them into your drive. So go to shared drives, Dreamweaver shared drive, Dreamweaver class files. And from Dreamweaver class files, go to sample images. Double click on sample images, and here's Melody and Lily final. You're in VDI, aren't you, Robert, or are you at home?
I'm at home, and I don't have many images, and I don't know how to get to
Right.
the full site.
Well, wherever it is that your folder is, give me a quick share and I'll show you where your root folder is.
Okay.
And because you have the ones that I gave you, even if you don't have any other. I was going to show you, I should have just shown you how to download a good one to start with, but now that I'm down this path, we'll continue with this example. So share your screen. Oh, you can't until I stop sharing, sorry. Share your screen, please.
Let's see. Share screen.
Okay. All right. So you're in our root folder, which only has this one image. So, no, you're not in VDI. Oh yeah, you're in your home. Good. So where is your root? To find out where your root folder is, I'm going to ask you to request remote control so I can help you out for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So over here in your folder, go to where it says images up here. See this little folder right there that says images? Go ahead and click on that.
This?
Do you see where I clicked? Yeah, a bit higher up. One up. The word images up above where you're clicking. Right above. Yeah, images. Click on that. So this is telling you, don't move. It's telling you that your folder called images is inside of your website called ZRobert, which is inside of Dreamweaver class files, which is inside of your downloads. See how it's kind of going, this is inside of that, inside of that. If you keep going down, it's in your downloads.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that under Dreamweaver class files too, you probably have the other files. So go down 2 words and click on Dreamweaver class files. Now this is how it is on a Mac, you guys. On a PC, it's how I showed you, where you kind of go into the path. I was showing you, my example was on a PC, this is on a Mac. Okay, so now here you have a folder called sample images, your 4th folder. Click on your 4th folder down, sample images, there you go. And there's Melody and Lily final. So click on that one. And now say open. The problem with saying open now though, click say open, is that your computer's gonna go, well, this file's not in the right place. Okay, so this is what that message that I was showing you. So basically it says, do you wanna copy it into the right place? So you go, yep, please copy it. So say yes. And it's showing you the right place, which is this images folder. So go click on the images folder. Right there in the ZRobert, click on that folder that says images now. Yep, that is the right place for it. So now you can say save. And as you can see there in the background, there's an image filling your screen now. You see that?
Yes.
All right, so there you go. For now, you're set. I'm gonna stop your share. I'm gonna go do it myself, and I'm gonna ask if anyone else need help.
Yes, I do again.
Okay, can you share your screen, please, Dorothy?
Yeah, I haven't even got, I can't find the right properties.
Okay, so share your screen.
Actually, now it just showed up. I don't know why.
Okay, guys, let me do something. Actually, Dorothy, before you share,
Okay.
For those of you who are just waiting, who are waiting, I want you to guys, I'm going to show you how to find a good file to share. So let me share my screen for a second because I want to show you what to do so that you have something to do meanwhile. So give me a sec here. So watch. I want you guys to do the following. If you're on VDI, you have to minimize Dreamweaver, okay? But if you're on your own computer, it doesn't matter. So for those of you who are on VDI, minimize Dreamweaver, go up here to this the third little guy and minimize it. And then open Google Chrome. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go find a free background texture. And I have a folder, remind me, I'm gonna send you an email. No, I have it in the handouts, I believe. It's in the handouts, but just I wanna confirm that I have it. There's so many sites where you can get some really good free there's like someone talking in the background, you guys. I'm gonna mute everyone because that noise is really a problem for me. There's either people talking or a TV or a radio on. So now everyone's muted again. Okay, so now go to, for example, I'm gonna go to pexels.com. That's one place. There's so many, but pexels.com is one. I'm gonna hit return. This is a site that has some really good stock photos and they're free and they're copyright free. So under search for free photos, I'm gonna put in background texture, for example. And I don't know, hit return and see what shows up for background texture. And whoa, look at that. Lots of really cool backgrounds. All of these are free, right? So how about you can have different ones, you can choose your own, but this would be an example of you going, okay, now try to not to have it be something busy like that. Try to have it be a texture that you think you'd like in your website. Maybe you like wood, maybe you like brick, maybe you like grass, whatever you want. I'm gonna be very simple. I'm gonna go for whatever the first thing that shows up is, which is, I don't know, this parchment, just to show you how to do it. So then I'm gonna go over here as I'm gonna click on this little downward arrow, which it says download. And when you say download, it says need more photos or something like that. Get something for free. Hold on, I need to make this a bit bigger. So I want you guys to not just choose the first one, just like I did. I want you to choose something that you like while I'm helping people. You don't want any of these. These are all, you know, expensive, so you can turn that off. Why is it not? There it is. So when I click download, see over here on the left side, it opened up. It downloaded into my downloads folder. Anything you download goes into your downloads folder. So you can go and choose a couple different ones so you can test some more. You can have some texture, download another one. So here I downloaded. Every time I download, it says something. Sometimes they want to have some attribution. So this would be where to do that. Right now, all you have is two different ones downloaded. These two that I downloaded, like I clicked on that bottom arrow, that's what it took. I downloaded those two and then downloaded into my downloads folder. I'm gonna do one more so you can see how easy it is. Here we go, I have 3. Click on this. I'll let everyone do this and download, find some other background that you want, choose a color. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go and help Dorothy. You guys download some stuff into your downloads folder, okay? All right, so Dorothy, I'm gonna stop sharing. Can you share your screen so I can help you get to this place? Just everyone to go and source some good free files for your backgrounds. Okay, Dorothy. I can't hear you. I had to make everyone go quiet. Yeah, sorry, because some noise is bugging me.
Sometimes there's no space between here, and this one slides down to the bottom underneath that.
Yeah.
And
okay,
I don't have any properties.
Okay, the reason sometimes it goes under or not is because you have your window small. If you make your window bigger, it won't go under.
Oh, okay.
That's just because it's running out of space and it can't show it to you. So see how there's a bit of space there. So that's not a problem.
I don't have
the body is a problem that you don't have any properties. So where are you getting this purple from? So we need to find out. So let's go to your styles and see where you have a background color. So go to styles, up next to source code, top left, go all the way to where on the, when you see index.html, move your mouse totally to the left of the screen, way over to where the flowers are. Yeah. So over there you see your source code or your styles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Click on that.
Now there's
And
a
now
nice
let's go.
okay.
And
Yeah,
now let's go see.
properties.
In the body, you do have a background color. Huh. Oh, and you do have it. Yeah.
But
Look, there it is.
Where's everything else?
That's up because you said show set. That's the only thing we have for body. All you have is color. You have no other choice.
Oh, well, how can I add an image?
Well, you didn't put one in yet, did you?
Where do I put it? I thought
yeah. So
it was in this list.
But you wait. No. Wait. Give me a second. Let me explain again. You have the show set checked. That means it's only showing you what's already been chosen, which is only one thing. So unclick the show set. There you go. Now you have all your choices. So now you can click on the fourth icon up or scroll all the way until you see background, whichever way you prefer. Those little boxes up there are just to help you get there quicker. But other than that, you can, so 1, 2, 3, the fourth one is the background.
Oh.
There we go. And that's where you can, right there, you can enter the browser. Mm-hmm. Click on that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Needed, I think. And I just need to find an image.
I'm noticing that in my body, I also had a choice of font that I don't see you having. So I don't know where you made your font choice, but doesn't matter at this point. That's fine. All right, so you didn't choose an image. See where it says background image? It says now you've added a URL.
I have to go find one.
Yeah, but be careful because you added something already. See on the left? So click on that browser. I want to make sure that you don't get it double. Click on that little arrow, on that little folder, because right now you do have one. You have the one that I made Robert bring in, and then you can change it. Click on that. I want to make sure that everything's working well. And go to sample images. You have, there's your bottom folder, the bottommost folder, sample images. Click on that and choose Melody and Lily and say open.
Oh, okay.
And now say okay, say yes to that. Say yes. It's going to make a copy into your folder. Go ahead and save into the images. Yeah. Double click your, save. And save. Perfect. So in the right place, now you have that whole thing in the background. Okay?
Okay.
Now I am going to stop your share and you can go find a texture of some kind. Let me do what I just had everyone do just so that my sample is the same as everyone. I'm going to enter my Melody Lily and say yes and tell it to go into my images and say save. Cool. And now I have that background set in. Just to see how it's going, I'm going to save everything.
Screen.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I have you to remind me. Thank you, Chris. Here we go. All right, so now I'm sharing, and I was just saying that I wanted to go check and see what it's looking like on the website, on my webpage right now, and this is what my webpage is looking like right now. I have a funky background, and I have my stuff on top of it. See how I put an image, and that purplish thing that I had before isn't showing, but it's not necessarily the best image for a background. It's not bad, it's not the best. So I had us go and download some texture kind of things. Okay, so let's go ahead and if you downloaded some, that's where they are. They're in your downloads folder. So let's go and add those now instead. So now notice one thing that's a problem, by the way. There's a big problem. Look at my screen. Let me put a little spotlight to my problem. The file that I brought in, that Melody and Lily file that I brought in, I don't know if guys you remember, but the name of that file, and let me show it to you here as far as file name, is not a good web page file name. see how Flowers Edited has dashes and underscores and no spaces, but see how Melody and Lily have spaces? Melody space and space Lily dash final. You cannot have spaces in file names that are going to go to the web. Look at what happens. Look at what happened over here in the URL. Over here in the body, it says images and it says melody, and then it adds a little 20% and then it added a little 20%, Lily dash final. Those little 20% take up the place of any space that your file name had. I'm so glad I remembered. That's why I wanted you guys to bring this one in, but in between helping people, I had forgotten. So that is a problem. You don't want that in there for a couple of reasons. Remember that I'm talking about making your website be accessible. Well, when the browser, the Google search tries to search this image, it doesn't read Melody and Lily. It reads Melody %, 20 and, or something, and it has no idea how to read that out in your screen reader. So it's gibberish, right? It's gobbledygook. So on top of that, sometimes that causes a break in actual capacity to have the file show. Sometimes those percentages actually stop the file from showing correctly. Not always, but it's just completely not only not recommended, it's not supposed to have a space. So hopefully the files that we brought in now that are already labeled as backgrounds probably don't have spaces. Let's go see. So by the way, I wanted to show you that when I'm hovering over the file name, see how I'm seeing, how cool, I'm seeing a little sample of the photo that I brought in. And just thought I'd show you that. As much as if I hover over this, I see a little bit of the color that I have. So over here, you can see the samples. It's pretty cool. Anyway, all right, so now I'm gonna go over to the properties and I'm gonna, everyone go back to your background images and we're gonna get rid of that one. So click on this little X right there. We're gonna remove that photo. Click on the little trash can. We don't have that photo in the background anymore. We're reverting back to a color, which is why it's good to have a color anyway, because if perchance the photo, something happens to it and you can't bring it up or something's wrong, at least you don't default to just basic white. Click on the folder again. And now you have to go to find where you downloaded these files. And I downloaded them into your my downloads folder of my VDI. So they'll be here under VDI downloads folder. And here we are. These are the 3 that I downloaded. And I don't know because the Mac shows you previews, the PC doesn't. I don't know which one is which. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the top one because I don't know what it is that I'm bringing in. And I'm going to say, okay. And oh, and look at the file name, by the way. It's Pexels dash Susie dash Hazelwood dash and a number. See how there's no spaces? So it's perfectly well labeled. And I'll say, okay. And the same old, ooh, this isn't the right place. Do you want me to copy the file? I'll say, yeah. Where should I put it? And I'll say, put it in the images folder. And then I'll say save. Oh no, was I clicking on the wrong thing when I was showing you all this stuff? Oh. I was going around showing so many things that I was in my H1. So the background of my headline has that photo. See that? Okay, Control Z to get rid of that and select body again. And now I'll bring that photo in correctly. That's for waving my mouse around so much. Okay, put it in the images and save. Actually, it's already in there now. Save. And here you go. So now I have a background. Looks like it's the one that had those wavy colors. All right. I don't know what backgrounds you guys chose, but hopefully you brought something that you like. Let's go ahead and do a couple more things to that background and then we'll go test it. First of all, I want it to stay fixed. I don't want it to change size. Actually, let me show you. Let me show you so you see the differences. Don't do this, just watch you guys. So I'm going to save all. And let me show you what's happening right now. This background right now over here, as I can, if I could scroll up and down, I have such a small window to show you the scrolling feature. I got to get it really small so that it can scroll. I'm going to scroll up and down, and see how the photograph is scrolling. Notice over here how that little red here, that little bright red spot right there is sticking. When I scroll up and down, see how that red spot scrolls with me? As much as the building a website scrolls and flowers scroll. See that? So what could happen is that as I scroll far enough down, if I have a lot of stuff on this page, is that once that photo ends, I run out of, you know, background. But anyway, I'm showing you that I'm scrolling and it's scrolling with me. So now we're going to do something differently. For it not to scroll, for these things to float and that to scroll, we're actually going to attach, we're going to fix that background. Remember how the background fixed position that I had before? We're going to do it to this photo. First of all, we're going to ask this photo to cover. I'm in body. I've got my background image. Before I continue, does everyone have their background image inserted? Did everyone insert a background image that you just downloaded from, you know, some free website, or you put in one of your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't, say no. And the rest, ow, my fan, it's falling on me. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I am going to go to background size right here. And instead of auto, I'm going to choose cover, because what I'm going to want is for my background to cover. Now, it seems that I do have an image that's big enough already. It was my starry sky, the image that was becoming all big. And actually, I liked it better before, now that I think about it, because this starry sky is kind of textured. But what happened by saying cover is that that whole image now is working so that it goes from end to end. This is the photo that I got from end to end. Before, I was only seeing a little portion of it, but now it's covering the entire thing. Okay, so say that you had a photo that's too small, now it's expanded to cover everything. Now we had something that was bigger and it reduced itself to cover everything without having a lot of extra. Okay, so that's what cover did. And then I want to go to background attachment. Instead of having it scroll with everything, I'm going to click on that and I'm going to say fixed background. So now I made it cover and I made it fixed. Okay, so these choices are right under where we made our choice. It's cover and fixed. If I look over here in my CSS, I have my background now as an image right here. It says cover and it says fixed. All right, so I'm going to go and save all related files. And I'm going to go check again. And now, when I scroll, look what's happening to my background. Look at it. It stays there while everything that I have scrolls up and down. See that? Isn't that pretty cool? Can you tell the difference? Before, my background scrolled with everything else, but now I'm scrolling up and down, and see how the background stays? So I get this feeling of floating. Is it happening for you?
Yeah.
I don't have too much material, so it's hard to tell. Let me go and just really quickly so that we have more stuff. I'm going to copy my my paragraph text. I'm going to copy the whole thing. Whoops. Where am I? Paragraph. There you go. I'm going to copy my entire paragraph text from end to end. I forget that I'm in a PC and that my copy is different. And I'm going to hit return and paste and return and paste. So basically I've added 2 more paragraphs to this whole thing. You don't have to, but that's so that my site scrolls more. Okay. So now when I go check it out on the website, now I have a longer website to go to. I'm going to make it bigger. Ah, So I hate sometimes VDI drives me crazy. Okay, so here's my bigger one. And now see, I made 2 more paragraphs, and see how I'm moving stuff up and down. I'm scrolling up and down, and my background is staying still. You see that?
Yeah.
And I had fixed my copyright to the bottom. So my copyright is remaining fixed. Okay, so I can go up and down, and my background doesn't move. Now you don't have to choose that. It's just something I was showing you. That's my alarm warning me and reminding me that the class ends at 8:15. Okay. Okay. Did you guys test yours? Is it working the same way?
No,
Is that Robert?
that's right.
Okay. Now it's very possible that if you have a big window you're testing it on and you have only 1 paragraph, there's nothing to scroll to, which is why at first I was making a very small window so there'd be something to scroll to so you could test it, right? So I'm just saying that, try that before you say it's not working. Other than that, I'm going to stop sharing and have you share. There's my share, stop share. Okay, so show me and see what's up. If you want to do what I did to have a longer website, go copy your paragraph and paste it 2 more times, which is what I did. That way your website has more depth, more length to it. Okay, so I'm seeing your screen. You put in your background, everything's good, and then you chose to be cover and fixed. So everything looks great. Everything looks like it should. It's just that you don't have much to scroll to, okay? But let's give that a try. Let's go ahead and say save all, and then go test it. So I don't know why you can't see until you test it if it's working, because right now everything seems fine. Save all. Now go down to that little preview icon and check on Chrome or Safari, wherever you're checking. Yeah, click on that. And here's your website. Okay. And if you scroll up and, oh, what you don't have is your copyright actually isn't working. Now it's trying to scroll, but there's nowhere to go to. So if you make your window shorter, like grab it from the top and scrunch it so that you're hiding some of your text. So go from the, yeah, go from that top and make it a really shallow window. So you have something to scroll to. Try make it a little bit shallower, because right now there's not much to scroll to either. Go make it a little bit smaller still. Go up and, yeah, okay, and now try to scroll and you'll see how you will scroll. See, your material, my first website and your photos are scrolling, but your bricks are staying still. See that?
Yes.
Okay, now what you don't have working is your copyright. See how you have that little box there instead of having it at the bottom?
Yeah.
I was hoping we could finish the copyright today. If you bear with me, I don't think we'll have time to change the gradient of the copyright, but that's okay. I can fix your copyright though. All right, so everything that you did is working. The only thing that's missing right now is your copyright, but this part was doing fine. It's doing what it should do. So go back to Dreamweaver, click on the Dreamweaver again, and let's go to your footer. So go click on the on the selector for footer. Right there where you have your body selected, scroll down. No, up. Select, yeah, click on footer. Yeah, and over here, I need to see your choices. And can you click on show set to see what your choices are for your footer? And then can you make me see more of them, because I'm seeing the DOM too big, or scroll that up? Yeah. Yeah, or yeah, that's fine. Push that up so that I can. It was doing, yeah, it's hard sometimes. You keep your mouse quiet. Yeah, click and drag all the way up to the word smaller. Thank you. Whoa, 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 not so much. Down again. There, stop. Perfect. Okay, now click on footer. Click on footer and let's see what's happening here. Okay, so you have your layout, you have your padding, position fixed, bottom 0. What you're missing is the width. So turn off your show set and let's give it 100% width. You're almost there. Perfect. Oh, you have 100 pixels. So click on the word pixels and change that to %. right there. Perfect. So now you see your copyright is filling
you.
your bottom. You're
Yep.
welcome. Okay, so save that, and I'm going to stop your sharing. Okay. How's it going for everyone else? Were you able to put in a background that works for you? I'm actually going to change it. I don't like this background as much as I'm going to try the parchment or something, but anyway.
Deanna?
Yes.
I have a problem with the download.
Okay. Tell me, what's your problem?
So it's showing,
You want to share?
showing as a JPEG.
Okay.
I don't know, where did it go again? Oh,
Do you want to just share?
oh yeah,
it's easier for me to diagnose what's happening when I see it.
Yeah.
I would never have noticed how to help Robert if I didn't see it. It said pixel instead of percentage. I need to see. Okay, there you are. So
what do I do with it?
Okay, so you downloaded 3 different things into your downloads. Fine, perfect. They downloaded. You don't need this anymore. Go back to your VMware tab. When they downloaded, they loaded it into your downloads folder. But what you're saying is that, oh, because you're, okay, I see what's happening. You went outside of VM view. You went to your new tab. You went to a new tab to download. So those 3 things you downloaded went to your real computer, to your real computer downloads.
Ouch.
You need to go inside of VMware for them to be accessible. So go back into this tab. Yeah. And in this tab, go and open Google Chrome. So go down to the arrow. No, go down to, sorry, to the taskbar, to the search bar, and write Chrome and open up Chrome. No, down. Yep, where it says index downloads, keep going down 2 more inches to the very bottom of that window. Yeah, now go all the way to the left, and you need to open a Google Chrome. So go to the magnifying glass. You were fine where you were. I'm sorry. Go back to where you were. Magnifying glass. Left, 2 more to the left. I don't know how to explain. Yeah, there, 1 more. There, perfect. Click on that. Right, Chrome.
Where?
Right Chrome. You need to open a program. Right Chrome. There it is. And now open Chrome. So you have to open it inside of VMware. And now download, go to pexels.com because it needs to download into here, right? So in that Chrome welcome, just click in there and write pexels.com and download something. And then they'll be in your downloads of your VDI. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, I got
So that's all that was happening. For VDI people, they need to be downloaded into the
okay.
So Pexels, it's okay, but Pexels is P-E-X-E-L. S. P-E-X-E-L-E-L-S. Pexels. Okay. So P-E-X-E-L-S. So just click in there and write PEXELS.com. Not Pelex, but Pexel. And hit return or pexels.com. No, Pexel, like pixel, but Pexel with an E. No, not Pelex. No, you need to do P-E-X. P-E-X-E-L.
Sorry.
It's easier to rewrite it than to fix it, I always find. There, P-E-X, perfect. Now go to the end of the X, back after the X, and write E-L. And S, E-L-S. Pexels.com, perfect. Hit enter. Yay, there we go. It's like pixels with an E. It's such a weird word that it's hard to, like pixel, but with an E. And there you go. All right, so I'm going to stop your sharing because you're on the right track. And when you download them, they'll be in the right place. So you're fine. You just had downloaded them into the wrong place. That's all. Okay. Any other question before we close up the class for today? Now, here's the thing. For those of you who need to share with me a screenshot or something, go ahead and do that. Use as homework, use this time to find actually, here's the homework that I'd like. What I'd like for next week, I'd like you to work, if you want to create a plan B, you know, leave this one as is and then copy it or something. But I'd like you to look at what you have here and to put in a background that works. And if that means that you need to change the color of your section, which not right now is yellow or green or blue, whatever yours is. If you're picking up from mine, you have my colors. I want you guys to go to CSS and change these things around to look good with a background that looks good. If you put in a yellow background, this yellow box won't look good. So then make the box of this be black or blue and the text to be white. You know, like try to make it all look a bit nicer. Right now we're kind of throwing things in there. But go ahead and see if you can to make it look more like you're really trying to make a website that looks pretty. And instead of this photo, if you want to bring in a different photo in there, you're welcome to bring in another photo. But if you do that, be careful because you might need to reformat that one. So keep the formatting that way. So anyway, go ahead and I challenge you to play around with the CSS to make the bottom copyright isn't black. We haven't worked on the header yet. Next week, we're going to bring in a header and a logo in there for the nav. But the nav right now isn't even visible. Maybe you give the nav a background, right? We can just do that right now. I'm going to go give the nav. I'll choose my nav and give it a background color because I can't even read it. So I'm going to give it a light-ish color. Maybe, I don't know, one of these little light blues or something. I'm just throwing something out just so that I can see it, right? There you go. So see how now I see it? It's not pretty right now what I did, but at least I see them, right? So go ahead.
Screen share.
Oh, man. Okay, so all I just did, let me undo what I just did. So all I said is over here, I can't even see, especially with this background, anything. So I went ahead and chose my nav, which is where that is, and I decided to give it a little background. So I went to the background of the nav, add a little color. I don't know, I went and gave it a lightish blue. I don't know that that's correct or that that's not correct. Maybe not so light, maybe a color that could, maybe one of these little lighter stars. The problem is that I have to make it lighter than that because I want to be able to read the text. All right, so when I click away, there we go. I have a little background. I hate that. I don't like that at all, but whatever. At least it's showing me. Let me just show you a quick trick. I'm going to make that a bit more transparent. There you go. I'm bringing that color down to a transparency of that color. Let's see if that helps. Can I make it a little transparency of that color and hit return? Nope, it's not working as a background color. Transparency is not picking. Should be a alpha. There it is. So now I just added a little bit of transparency to that. So maybe I can add a bit more transparency just so that I can see my those a little bit better. Anyway, so play around with some of these choices. And if you think you're going to mess this one up, then don't do it on this one. Go ahead and copy your entire folder and then play around with one that you can make look good. Because, for example, I think this doesn't look good at all. This texture, the star thing that I brought in looks horrible. So go find another one that looks better. But if you bring one that the color won't work with yellow, then make a good background here and change this to another color instead of yellow. But if you change this to a dark color, then the font needs to change to a light color. You know what I mean? Play around with stuff. Give me something that visually you think might look better. It's just a matter of changing the CSS, nothing else. All right. And if you don't do that, that's fine. It's just a challenge. That and give me little screenshots of this that you have up until now. And then if you make anything different, you can send me a screenshot or you can just show us next week. Okay? All right.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I'll hang out for some questions. Other than that, class is officially over.
Have a good evening.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You too.
Good
Robert. Have a good
night.
evening. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Chris. You're welcome.
Thank you,
Vivian's
Deanna.
gone. Bye, Tim. Bye, Ali. I'm glad your problems got solved. It was technically simple. All that.
I feel it might have been what was going on the last couple of weeks too. Because
Yeah.
with the the split is highlighted in blue, so I thought I was in the right place all this time.
Yeah, and the thing is that I don't know if you weren't sharing and I didn't notice, or like when you asked me at first, you were showing me the head that was wrong and stuff like that. So I focused on that, and I wasn't thinking of how it was looking.
I know.
So anyway, I'm glad we figured it out. Okay, hopefully now you're clear.
Must be really difficult to try and do everything for everybody. So I had a quick question though. Do you a necklace? You know, I have, I don't know if you have anybody, but there's certain sorts of jewelry that I'm able to mend, but I don't know if it's like a pre-made forged type.
It's actually, believe it or not, it's simple. It's let me stop sharing and see if I can show you on the screen.
Yeah.
It's let me see. It's a cord. It's actually just a cord.
Yeah.
I got this in Canada years ago. I love it. And the thing is that I can't just change the cord because the cord goes in, it goes all the way through and then out again. So basically I need to take this off and I need to replace that whole thing with a new cord. So I think I can handle it. I'm going to take a lot of pictures, and if it looks horrible what I do, then maybe I'll call and ask you for some help.
If you need any help or you want me to do it, that looks quite straightforward. So
I'd love that. Thank you. I didn't know.
I can't do all the welding stuff and whatever, but
awesome hidden skills. And I'd love to make something more permanent. I love this thing dearly, but I've been seeing that it's fraying. I mean, I've you know, had it for years and years, and finally, it's just like it's just cord. If I could put a little bit of leather in there or something else, that would be better. But even if it's cord again, just refresh it. I'm gonna cut this off and see. I have you know what? I have a feeling that what goes through is a piece of wire. In which case, there must be a hook there that this is all attached to. So I'm gonna see. Maybe it's easy. Maybe it's not.
You would fabricate it so there was a loop at the top.
And then at the top, it's one of these little loops that when I bought it, I thought, oh my God, this is going to come off forever. But it's actually never come off. It's been a really well done little hook. And I put it through, you can't imagine. It's my go-to when I have to travel, when I know I'm going to airplane, when I go camping, when I know I don't want anything else on, I put this one on. So this thing is, I go hiking with it. You know?
It's funny how we love some pieces.
I know.
If I can do anything to help, let me know.
Thank you for offering. And I might take you up on it.
Thank you for everything.
You're
have
welcome.
a good night.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.